What's up, world? I'd like to welcome y'all to a Drug Dealer's Dreams podcast, yo. Shit is real. We got real guests.
Yup.
Informative. Yo, my name G.
I'm Benny Blanco. You know, for those of you who lived it, can relate to it, seen it, heard it, felt it, been through it, it's for you.
Yo, we gonna have real convo, real guests, real just back and forth with me and my guy, man. Sit back, enjoy the ride, man. Drug Dealer's Dreams.
Word. If you tuning in for gossip, tune out.
Facts. All right.
Oh my God.
Episode, I don't know if this is gonna be episode one of season two. Fuck it.
Episode 1.
A Drug Dealer's Dream.
Season
man.
2. Welcome
Season
back.
2. Welcome back. Thanks. Sorry for the wait, but it was well worth it.
Word.
We had to get our ducks in a row, man. Cross our T's, dot our I's. And
business got a little bigger, so we had to get more. We just had to get more detailed with our shit.
I'm G.
Benny, we back.
We got a guest, right?
Man.
We got a special guest.
Yeah.
Man, I don't. He had a lot going on in his life. When y'all see him, y'all might know him. Y'all probably recognize him from other publications, other media, but this gonna be the dopest one. You know what I'm saying? Raymond Santana, man.
Harlem Zone.
Harlem Zone, Bronx Zone, New York City Zone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This what we doing, man.
For
Your
real.
Empire State. You know what I'm saying?
Auburn Correctional Facility Zone. Yeah.
Super fat.
Yeah. So it's just dope. Thank you, man, for coming out. You know what I'm saying? Quick, just make sure everything right.
A lot of people,
good, Chop?
when you do see him, a big title with the Central Park 5, right?
Definitely.
A lot of people don't know what that is. A lot of people do. We let you explain it. Quick rundown. I kind of want you to go into it, man. A quick backdrop. In Central Park, and we're going to get to the history of it, 5 teens were accused of raping. Was it attempted murder also?
Yeah, raping
and attempted murder of a white lady jogging in Central Park.
All type of other charges, too.
Yeah, 100%. We're going to get into that.
Yeah.
But basically, they were accused of raping and attempted murder of this white lady in New York, late 80s.
1989.
1989. Claimed their innocence this whole time. And what were you originally sentenced to?
5 to 10 years.
5 to 10 years.
And
For
what
a crime they didn't commit.
Right. What were the exact charges that they convicted you?
It was the only thing that they didn't convict us of was attempted murder.
Okay.
But it was the rape, robbery, assault, rioting, menacing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
It
of the
was
word
12
wild.
charges
Because of the
on it.
word wild.
And one thing I like to say is people done got immune to prison time and think that 5 to 10 years isn't a lot of time.
Yeah, like, oh, that ain't
people
that
think,
much.
oh, he ain't doing a life sentence. He ain't got 20.
Shit.
Do 5 to 10 years for some shit you didn't do.
Yeah.
You gonna do 5 to 10 years for some shit you did.
Do 5
you
months.
still drunk.
Yeah, do 5 months.
So,
See how
all
good
right,
it is.
let's go into the history, man. You originally from where? Where you born?
I was born in Harlem.
Okay.
And I was born in Harlem, moved to the Bronx for a couple of years, and then I moved back to Harlem.
Got you.
Okay.
Got you. At what age? At what age did you move back to Harlem?
I moved back to Harlem around 13. 12, 13.
So as a 13-year-old in Harlem in the late 80s, what does New York feel like to you on an average day?
Well, in the Bronx, being in the Bronx, I lived in Cedric houses, right? Upper University. And it was close-knit. Everybody knew each other.
Oh, that's a housing project?
That's a housing project.
Okay, be clear, because people in Cali watching this, Cedric houses, he live in the whole housing community? Nah, he live in the project.
In the projects.
Let's be clear.
In the projects. But everybody knew each other. Mom knew other, everybody knew each other. So it was more close-knit. And then when I moved to Harlem, Harlem was real fast-paced. Okay. So it was a culture shock.
I want to touch on New York projects at that time, just to get some clarity, right? Because I used to meet people. New York City was so expensive always, right? Like you might have 2 parents with decent jobs but still living in the projects.
Yeah.
Or 1 parent with a good job living in the projects. Whereas in some other places that dynamic didn't exist.
True.
I want you to just expand on that a little bit, like being young, knowing you from the projects, but it might not be such a stigma, or it might be depending on where you're going to school, but the fact that it wasn't like everybody in the projects was fucked up.
No, back then, no. When I lived in the Bronx, it was a lot of middle class families. I came from a 2-parent household.
Right.
And like I said, everybody knew each other. You know, your pops would have hung out with my pops in front of the building. Right. It was real family orientated. You know, back then, my neighbor, she see me doing something. She come outside, she could put a hand on me.
I should say that all the time.
Because it was different.
Your moms can beat me because we was we was fam. It was a whole.
Right.
It got worse later because that young person grew up and he became that person in the project without no father and so on and so forth, and it got wild.
It got crazy.
But back in the days, it used to be wild, but not as much. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's dope. That the ages we are, I know you're a little older than us, but we kind of from the same generations. Not kind of, we are.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So it's beautiful. I always say it that we was able to live through from then to now, so you could see the difference and understand these young dudes too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because we come from that era. You know what I'm saying? So back to your story. Are you a wild kid? Is you? You know what I'm saying? What kind of kid was you?
In retrospect, it's easy to tell what kind of kids.
Yeah, like was you a good kid?
At the time, we all fronted a certain amount. We all acted. We were trying to find our identity.
That's it.
But in retrospect, like. What role did you play as that young, because you only like 11, 12, 13, like what was your life like?
Yeah, my life, you know, it was just every day, being a kid, you know, going to school.
Went to school.
It started out with, you know, what you want to be police or be this.
A doctor,
all
that stupid shit.
Because all that stuff was different. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And so it really didn't change for me until I came to Harlem.
Okay.
When I came to Harlem, that's when it became a culture shock. Now, living in the Bronx, because it was so close-knit, the older dudes treated us like little brothers. Mm-hmm. So they beat us up, they chased us, they did all that. They toughened us up.
And they had a history with you.
And they had history with us. Right. So now when they came to Harlem, that hustlers element was in there.
Okay.
And it was, and that's where the culture shock. Everything was fast-paced.
It was flashy.
It was more flashy. You know, it was nothing to see Alpo and AZ driving down through your neighborhood in a convertible Benz or a Saab or a BMW with the BBSs on it.
I gotta stop you real quick.
Okay. At least you stopped them.
Yes,
because using me a stopping again.
What we focus on a lot, right? What goes overlooked and part of our purpose is to understand their mentality, understand the impact that had on you at that age. It's easy just to say it, but it's not easy to live it because your parents not driving them cars. And all of a sudden it fucks up your whole understanding of what life is about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So just touch on that because...
Hold on, and you moved to Harlem and it became a drug dealer's dream.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like real life fact.
Yeah.
You see the nigga in the ill car, bad chicks, door knocking earrings, 5411s, Dapper Dan suits.
Dapper Dan
Fuck
suits.
you,
I remember being in Harlem, me and you, right?
Okay.
We were young. Not to deviate from your story, but only because it relates, right? I remember seeing 2-3 Series wagons with like chrome 18s
and 5 Series wagons with the grate.
I don't even know.
Back.
It could have been 5 Series. I don't even know if they have 5 Series.
They're definitely 5 Series with the grate in the back. BBS.
Yeah.
I remember I was on 2/5.
Yeah, and I remember that day. And I
because we was riding Honda wagons and we thought they were lit.
Yeah.
Because Honda wagons was lit too. We wasn't on for
Oh yeah.
Like.
And to this day, I pull up on like a I pulled up on an AMG Benz wagon. Not an SUV, a wagon. Like, only dudes from our generation understands wagons was lit.
Yo, my girl even be like, why the fuck do you like wagons?
Right.
You don't really understand.
Yeah, you don't understand
wagons
the origin
put all
of
the beat
wagon.
in the back.
Yeah,
EVs.
the wagon.
I used to go to Uncle Steve's on Canal. Niggas get, oh man, just forget about it.
To this day, I'll fuck around and cop a wagon. To this day. Just to keep it real.
I almost bought a Diamante wagon.
That's what I'm saying. Just to keep
But
it real.
imagine now coming to Harlem and see kids your age.
Exactly. And that's what I want you to explain to them. Like Harlem obviously was a little different from the Bronx,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
You said it was faster, right?
Yeah.
But faster means more money.
That's right. That's
So,
right. And even the dress code. Here was kids now in the Bronx. You know, we played tag and we was running up in buildings and throwing dirt bombs.
Yeah.
But now you came to Harlem, and the kids that was my age was. I mean, we used to go to Dapper Dan, and the kids who used to sit there, they used to guard the bags in the back. Was my age.
Wow.
With a Gucci jacket on. You know what I'm saying? The kid that lived next door to me, his brother had all that. They was hustling. And it was like, wow, you get to actually see a young kid that's my age doing it.
So do you get accepted when you come over there, or do you face like a backlash? Like, oh, nah, you from the Bronx.
Nah, I didn't face a backlash. You just had to earn your way in.
And
The more people see you, the more they get to know you.
I just want to touch on this dynamic too, because other people who not from New York City think New York City, all boroughs are one way.
Yeah,
And
nah.
it's not.
And it's not.
It's a whole different community. It's a whole different city. It's
Word.
5 different cities.
Word.
And
Word.
everybody act different. You know what I'm saying?
glad
Everybody
you
like,
said
oh,
that.
you from New York.
I'm glad you said
you this way. No, it just depends where you at.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It be like, no, I ain't see that where I was growing up. That don't mean I ain't live a good life or live a rough life or whatever, but I ain't see that.
Right.
No, that's some Brooklyn niggas or them Harlem or them upstate niggas.
Right.
It's different. You know what I'm
totally
saying?
different.
Right.
It's a different dynamic all the way
Whereas-
around, and that's dope that you here to not you coming from Rochester or whatever. You was from the Bronx, but you going 20, 30 minutes away, and it's a whole nother life.
Whole
Like a
nother
whole
life.
nother life.
Whole
Damn,
other life.
son.
You
So
know,
how did you I don't want to fast forward too much because I believe the value in the conversation we having is in the uniqueness, right? Is in the way that our personalities relate, even though we don't know each other. The fact that we've seen some of the same things, lived through some of the same things, that's what makes it ill, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, what's just to fast forward a little bit, but not all the way. What's your mindset at when the tragic event happened? You was 14, correct?
Yeah, it's 14.
So what's your mindset leading up to that as a young man? Like, what are you even trying to like prove or find out in this world, bro? Like, you in this super fast world, crack era is lit. Like, it's money everywhere.
Yeah.
That's
right.
the heart of the crack.
That's
era.
what I'm saying.
In '88,
It's
my
money
pops probably had
everywhere.
the most money he ever had.
Yeah.
Legends are being made that we don't even know they're gonna be like. We know they're heroes to us, but we don't know that it's gonna be legendary. Like, you naming names that are legendary,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
you don't know that at the time.
Nah.
They just dudes getting money.
Dudes getting money.
So what's your mind state, bro?
I
What do
mean, at that time, because my dad worked, he was a hustler. He's from, he came from Puerto Rico, lived in Harlem, and he became a hustler. Not illegally, legally.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So for him, he would like to dress flashy too. So for me, it was like, all right, well, you coming from the Bronx, give me good grades, and you can get all that. You know what I'm saying? So I had jewelry, at 14, 13. I had, sneakers. We used to dress from the Gap. We used to always go to the Gap and buy clothes.
Definitely.
Almost all of my clothes came from the Gap. And my
Gap
dad
shit was
Neiman
fly
Marcus
too.
back in the day.
big GA.
Gap was
Yeah.
really Neiman Marcus back in the niggas had the
was.
ill Gap suits.
Right.
Yep.
And
If they were smart, they would bring the gray with the blue letters back and just give us a sweatsuit.
back then,
No,
it was plain.
no,
They had
because
plain
you know the
sweatsuits.
illest part about it. No, they wouldn't win now because
think
everybody
they would.
on high end time, and you still look like you on bullshit. It's just the transition. But
No
at
doubt.
the time, dudes wasn't going to Neiman Marcus. Niggas, the only Gucci shit niggas had on was from Dapper Dan.
Was Dapper Dan.
Niggas
Right.
wasn't going
Right.
nowhere else copping
Right.
none of that shit.
Right.
Gucci didn't even have clothes. They had just the bags, the hats. They had the bags, the little. They didn't even expand the like.
Dapper Dan was
that-
cutting
yep.
the material, making the shit.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think, that, and it's crazy that we're talking about this, and that's a perfect transition. The meaning of a drug dealer's dream. His pops was a working man who wanted to be fresh. That's still a drug dealer's dream.
100%.
You don't have to sell drugs to live the drug dealer's
Right.
dream. You
Right.
just want to be lit.
Well, you still competing
You
with
know what I'm
everybody
saying?
around
Yeah,
you.
you just
It's
want to
still-
be lit.
You part of the environment, man. The influence is real.
Drug dealer's dream is taking care of your family.
Right.
We want to live a good life. And man, my girl say it all the time, right? She be like, yo, why do you buy this? Or why do you, man, I just want to be happy. That's just life. I want to be happy. That's a
Right.
drug dealer's dream to me.
That's the end
Like
result.
the end result, I want my family to be good,
Right.
and I buy nice shit because I want to be happy.
That's it.
You like there's no, it ain't got to be no deep reason. I want to feel good.
Right. And they should
And
make you feel
and
good.
his pops want his kids to feel good.
Word.
You do these grades.
Word.
You want this lit shit these other niggas is hustling for. We could do that, and you can do it this way.
Because you put the work in. You say your pops moved from Puerto Rico, right?
Yeah.
So you put the work in. He know the struggle that he went through, right?
Yeah.
To position you in a certain way. He don't want that struggle to look whack. He wants that shit to look like it's worth
Yeah,
it.
like I made it. Look what I'm doing.
Exactly.
So you can do it too.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Exactly.
So
Definitely.
I kind of want to fast forward a little bit. You're 13, you're 14. I want to fast forward to the event.
To the night.
Yeah, you might be you fresh, you all that. Y'all in Central Park. Why are y'all in Central Park?
Well, what happened was that night we was in school, and that weekend was a holiday weekend. So I usually have a 9 o'clock curfew.
School, real quick. Let's just place
Yeah.
it for him. What grade?
What was that? 7th, 8th? One of
Okay.
those.
Because with the severity
seventh
of the issue,
Yeah.
people automatically look at you like a grown up.
Yeah.
I want to remind them that you're a child.
Yeah.
14,
14 years old,
Yeah.
7th grade. You know, and go to school every day.
Okay.
Hang out with some dudes that they you know, some of them is
In and
wild,
out, in
some of
and
them
out.
is cool.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it was a holiday weekend. And so because of that, I can stay out later. So that's how I was hanging out with my guys. And we was going to a party. We was at the Taft Projects, and that night we was going to a party at the Schomburg houses. And we knew like over at Schomburg they had some nice looking girls.
Okay.
Okay.
So, you know, you go, you get fly, you throw on your latest stuff, your new
Right.
kicks,
Right.
and we was going over there because it was a party
You
over
had your
there.
weekend outfit on.
That's it. And that's what it was
Alright.
about. And so we get to Schomburg, and the Schomburg boys are out there, but there's mutual people in the group. So I don't know, you know, these other dudes. I don't know Yusuf, I don't know Kevin, I don't know Antron.
Right.
But Yusuf and Kevin lived in Schomburg. And
And we'll describe who they are
Yeah.
as we go on. But go ahead.
and that was their backyard. So it was nothing for them to be in the park because it was
Gotcha.
right across the street on 110th Street.
Now, real quick,
Yeah, go ahead.
please, viewers, listeners, whatever, understand. In order to move from neighborhood to neighborhood, you had to have somebody in common that knew somebody.
Definitely.
You weren't just going to this party blindly
Nah.
because repercussions will happen.
Yeah, because there's when we get out there, there's like we came in there about 15, 20 deep.
Right.
They out there about 30 deep.
Okay.
So you're not moving through there unless you know somebody.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's how it was too back then.
I
You
just
had
want
to know
people to
somebody.
understand the time and the culture and how shit moved, how shit went
So
down.
are y'all just in the park chilling? Because some people, a lot of people, white people might see like, why are they in Central Park? People hear Central Park and it's
Yeah.
it's nice, or
Yeah.
it's a mutual place that it ain't. I
not
don't
the
know.
hood. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
the hood.
It's not the hood. You know what I'm saying? Like
Why do-
white people jogging.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
At
People
night.
might have a picnic. All types of shit
All
at
that.
Central Park.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
All
saying?
that.
Like real life.
all
Yeah.
that, all
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
and but you know, the both groups are together, and so everybody just talking, you know, in front of Schomburg houses, right at the entrance on 110th Street of Central Park.
Okay.
Okay.
So we was just right there.
Okay.
And the group went in, right? And so they didn't go in deep because when you first go in on 110th on Fifth Avenue, there's benches and stuff there. So cats just go there to do whatever, smoke,
Yeah.
drink, whatever.
Yeah,
So they
whatever.
just go
chill.
in.
Right.
They just go in. And so that's the location we was at originally, just right there.
Okay.
And
Basically still in front of the party. Basically.
we across the street from it now.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We're across the street from it now. And so for me, because I came with the group, wherever the group went, I went.
Of course.
So, you know, like I said, I'm from the Bronx, then I moved back to Harlem.
What
I'm not hanging out in Central
What
Park.
time
like
is
that.
this? Is this middle of the night?
Yeah, this is like you talking like, you know, late evening. Like this is like 9. You know,
Okay.
this is that time
Okay.
like where we like, all right, we going over there D, we going to the party.
All right.
And
dance with the girls.
I want to keep the mentality of a 14-year-old at this time, especially one that moves from the Bronx.
Yeah.
I don't want to use a word as specific as initiation because that's kind of corny, but you feeling your way out.
Yeah.
You feeling your way out. You meeting new people. You done seen mad people in the neighborhood, but tonight is just a regular night of a teenager. Like, let's see what the night brings. Let's
I
see
might
what
try
we
to
can get
grind
into.
on a chick.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get
yeah.
some numbers.
I might get in a fight.
I'm an adolescent.
Right. We
Yeah,
might
like-
jump somebody. We
Yeah,
might do
who
whatever.
knows? Who knows?
what it
Yeah,
is.
who knows?
Fact.
Who knows? So I
No
just-
guns.
Nah.
No, we
Nah.
just
Nah.
hanging. Yo, if it's a problem, yo, you gonna hold me down? you know what I mean?
Make
Do
sure you don't
swing on
run.
me.
Right.
Yeah, don't run. You a
don't
sucker
run.
if you go back to school on Monday, and then they can say you ran. That's
Right.
all that.
So
That's
it's just
right.
like it's regular kid shit going on.
Yeah.
Looking for something to get into. Everybody got out the crib with whatever excuse they got out the crib with.
That's right.
Right. Everybody told their parents they going wherever they said they was going.
Or I'm spending the night at his house, but we're really out.
Exactly.
All that.
So,
All that.
Okay.
So why did y'all deviate from the party? Why didn't y'all just go on the party?
Because it was so close. It's right there. It's literally across the street.
Okay.
It's not like you deviated.
We chilling.
We chilling.
Okay.
Before we
Okay.
actually go in, we chilling.
Okay.
Because mutual people is talking.
Yeah.
Got you.
So we just waiting.
Got you.
And then what happens is that police come. Squad car comes and they hit us with the spotlight.
So everybody runs.
So everybody runs.
For no reason.
Kid shit.
Right.
14 years old. That's when, oh shit, police, we ran on.
Yeah.
Right. Not doing nothing.
Not doing nothing. Just
Right.
run. And that's what happened. So everybody ran
Into the park.
into the park.
Damn, son. That's deep.
Instead of saying, let's run out, because the way the police came,
Of
they was
course.
by the entrance.
Of course.
and
Because
so-
that's where they
and-
figured
and-
you was going or was from.
And let me say something too.
Yeah.
And that gives, from the beginning, I ain't gonna say the beginning of the time, but from a long time, that's so fucked up because we was always taught that the cops was kind of our enemy. If
Always.
the cops was
Always.
our friends or trying to do the best by us and motherfuckers wasn't getting killed and shot and choked out by the police,
Right, right.
we wouldn't have ran.
Wouldn't
You know
ran.
what I'm saying? What are we running
But
for?
you gotta run.
You gotta
and then
run.
you see your friend
The-
running,
no,
you see
we-
other
you-
friend
no,
running.
You
What
gotta
you gonna
run because the cops been fucking us
Exactly,
over
exactly.
for a long time. It's
But-
like a slave master.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
right.
But either which way, y'all run for the park.
So we run from the pole, and the crowd disperses. Everybody runs different ways.
Now, when you say the crowd, what kind of numbers
talking
we
about-
dealing with? What kind of numbers?
20, 30 people?
yeah, 30 people at least.
Okay.
A nice crowd.
Nice crowd.
Okay.
So everybody runs, and we run deeper into the park, but we scattered. This shit is dark as hell, and I'm with one dude that I know. The other dudes I don't know.
Okay.
And so we're trying to find the rest of our dudes,
Right.
right?
Got you.
And so
But
now,
now it becomes like a park. Fucking like everybody's lost. Everybody's ain't no
yeah.
cell phones.
Ain't no cell
Ain't no
phones,
none of that.
You
You
just
just
gotta find
you just yeah.
yeah.
All right.
And so what happens is that as it's like these baseball fields in the park, and we go towards them, and from a distance you can see movement, like motherfuckers is running or jumping or doing something.
Yeah.
And so when we go over there, some dudes had just jumped on some dude on a homeless guy.
All right, let me ask you something real quick, right?
Mm-hmm.
For those people who never been to New York City, never been to Central Park, how is it set up? Central Park is obviously like something we see in movies, right? Something we see on TV. It's beautiful. It's this huge park in the middle of the city, right? But how is it that there are projects at the entrance of Central Park, but yet accountant investor or whatever, I don't mean to fast forward, whatever her title was, how does she feel safe running in the park?
Yeah. Because she was doing it for a long time. That was her routine every day.
But like, is that just
You
the way the
fast
city
forwarding
is?
because
No, I'm
they
not
don't know
going
what
fast
you're talking
forward,
about.
but I'm just saying, how is the city set up, right? Because what fucks me up, right?
That there's a high rise 2 blocks up that's $1 million.
Is but there's,
in
there's
low
30,
budget.
14-year-olds going to go to a party, but 100 feet in the other direction,
Is a
and they're
problem.
involved with something they have no clue. So it's like, is the city just at that time? It's like what condensed everything socially, right? Just follow me. Like, what condensed everything socially to even create a situation, a possible situation like that? Because your world, you're a 14-year-old kid just trying to have fun. Your world shouldn't intersect with a 28-year-old woman who's trying to stay in shape or whatever the fuck she's doing. It shouldn't even intersect, bro.
I mean, that's New
And,
York.
and I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like it didn't really. It didn't. It
Okay.
didn't intersect because
Okay.
we never saw her.
You never seen
Right.
her.
You know what I'm saying? Like
It's
she
the
had a
same park,
specific.
though.
She
That's
had,
what I'm
no,
saying.
but the park is so big.
Okay, that's
you can't
what I'm trying to
You
get to.
can't go in on 110th and walk. You can't walk straight through. You have to cut, stop, go out, come back.
And that's
in.
what I'm trying to get to. It's
You know
not
what
a
I'm saying?
park like a little park.
No.
It's a park. How
It's
big
massive.
is the park?
We talking about from 110th Street all the way to like 57th Street.
Okay.
So we talking about massive.
60 blocks.
60 blocks
And
of
then
a
we're
park.
talking
New
like
York City blocks.
New York
That's
City
what-
blocks,
right,
and then
right,
you
right.
talking about the width of going across. Is like 2 or 3 avenues.
So
this
y'all-
is big.
So y'all scatter, and now dudes just wilding. They doing wild shit.
Yeah. Now
You
they,
said dudes jumped on the homeless man.
They
What
jumped
happened?
on a homeless
Did you
dude.
see this?
I see movement, but I
Okay.
don't know what's going
You don't
on.
know what's
Okay.
going on.
So when we get there, the dude says it. One of the kids say it. He's like, yeah, they just beat up on the homeless dude, and the dude hit him over the head with a bottle.
Now this gonna sound stupid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we all lived it. But this is important for the listeners, B. There was a different mentality. I don't give a fuck if you was growing up in Syracuse where we grew up, if you was growing up in Harlem. It was a sign of the times that young men was angry, right? To where when we got freedom, you know, me and you made a bunch of bad decisions at that age, right? I mean, from the publications and what I read, like you said, you jumped, not you, certain dudes jumped the homeless man, they was throwing rocks. We all did that shit,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But it's like, what the fuck was going on in our head? Looking back, being grown, what the fuck was in my head?
You're just a kid.
But at the same time, why is the first release like why when we get some freedom we get away from our parents? Why is it straight to violence? Like it's like it was just I think it was a strange like passageway. Mm-hmm. Like, and I almost think it was like a defense mechanism. Like, let me go over the top and do some fucked up shit to somebody so I could be safe on a daily basis.
Could be.
That's
Could
true,
be.
and you be trying to earn your stripes
That's
as
what-
a young,
that's
as a
exactly
young
what I'm
person.
talking
You like don't fuck with him, like or
That's
he
exactly what I'm talking
or he ain't scared. Like just how we was talking earlier. Like, dude swing on me, you better not run, you
Right.
better jump, because
Right.
you just showing I ain't no sucker.
And it ties into, just like we said earlier, when you going through different blocks and different neighborhoods, why you got 20 dudes with you? Because it is that mentality of
Right.
what you coming through my block for.
And I think, and I bring it up because I think it's so important, and I think it hasn't been touched on, is the mentality of a young man at that time due to the environment that they're growing up in, right? It's like 24 hours a day, you got to prove yourself. And especially you're around dudes that may be from a different neighborhood or may not know you for certain things. Like, yo, I got to go above and beyond. I got to let these motherfuckers know. So the first motherfucker, the innocent bystander who rides by or walks by, I'm gonna show him who I am.
Yeah.
So now you got 30 motherfuckers running through Central Park with something to prove. So like, what's your mind state? You seeing shit happen? You still just in your party mode? You trying to find a chick or what's going
We're
on?
not in party mode now because now they telling me what's happening.
Okay.
So the dude I'm with, he's a little bit older than me.
Okay.
So he goes, all right, let's go find our group and we gone.
Okay.
Now there was another kid.
So he knew enough to get the fuck out.
Now there was another kid who became part of the Central Park 5 named Corey Wise.
Okay.
Off of that, he left. He went home. He said, yeah, this is it for me. Remember, he lived in Schaumburg. As soon as he stepped outside, he go right back to his house.
Got you.
So he left. He was gone.
Yeah.
Wow.
So a lot of people started to leave.
Okay.
But we was the ones that was like, let's find our group because I don't live over in Schaumburg.
Right.
I don't know Central Park like
We
that.
came with dudes. We
Yeah.
gotta
I
leave
came
with
with
dudes.
dudes. I got to leave with dudes.
Right.
Yeah.
Word.
And so that's why we ventured into the park even more because now we're trying to find our dudes.
Damn.
And that group went further and we followed behind.
Gotcha.
Now when we finally catch up to them is where there was 3 male joggers who got assaulted by the reservoir. And this is where we come in at. When we finally catch up to the group, there's guys in there who's doing stupid shit.
Right.
Right.
Now, are they older?
Yeah.
Like, are y'all following behind some older guys?
Some of them were, yeah. Because I was 14, so there was guys in there that was maybe 15 and 16.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
That's understandable. There's
so-
a big difference between like 14 and 17.
Yeah.
It's a big difference.
Yeah, it is. And so when we reached to the group, that's when, in the story that you read about that, a couple of guys got assaulted at the park.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm just telling you,
But
from
not
what-
by y'all.
not by us, not by the 5 of us.
Central. Yeah.
Somebody else.
You just still watching, trying to figure what the fuck is going on.
What the fuck is going on?
Right.
But after that assault, everybody leaves. Like
Leave
whoever's
Central Park.
everybody runs out.
Do you go home?
No. What happens is that instead of going back to the east side, because the park is the way that the park is structured, when you get there, it don't look like the east side. So we go to the west side. We go this way and we run out on the west side, which is Central Park West. And so we get to Central Park West, and now we start walking. We going uptown. Because all I know is that to go uptown, the numbers got to go up.
Of course.
Right? So we on that road, we on that street, and we're walking up.
Right.
And that's when the police car pull up.
Okay. Y'all not even in the park anymore.
We're not even in the park.
Last thing you saw was some innocent bikers or something getting halfway beat up.
It was a dude, not even not bikers.
Okay.
I mean, that's in the story, but I didn't see that.
Okay.
That happened during like the whole split when motherfuckers was running.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So
Police pull up on you.
So the police pull up on us, and they jump out on us, but it's like it's not a police car, it's like an unmarked car.
Okay.
So these dudes jump out, they got the jackets that say police. And so the crowd, at this point, is maybe like 15 guys. Everybody else done left.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And so at this point, the police jump out, they say freeze, now all the guys run.
Right.
I keep walking, and so one officer grabs me, and another officer grabs another kid.
Why don't you run?
I ain't do shit.
No, I understand that. I understand that.
That's important. Why I'm gonna run? Because I ain't do nothing.
And you know, the reason why I asked you that is because the mindset is so important and so overlooked. Your mindset is still a 14-year-old kid who ain't do shit.
Yeah.
But see, you ain't hip to the mindset yet of it don't matter if you did shit or not.
I'm not hip to that. I don't know that yet.
You're not hip to that.
I'm not hip to that.
Right.
I'm not hip to that.
That's
so
what I want the 14-year-olds listen to understand. Get the
so
fuck
one,
out
I
of
didn't
here.
run because I didn't do shit, and two, he was right there. I couldn't run.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So it was like, well, I ain't got nothing. I'm alright.
Fuck it. Yeah.
I ain't do shit.
Yeah.
So he grabbed me, put me on the wall, and he grabbed this other kid and put him on the wall. You know, and
When you say put you on the wall, bro, how was police at that time?
no, he said get on the wall. So he put on the wall,
Okay,
right?
but he ain't really like he wasn't.
We'll get to that right
Okay.
now. So and then the other kid that he puts on the wall, he's like, "Why you stop me? Why you stop me? I ain't do nothing. I ain't do nothing." He's like, "Shut up." So when I go, "Well, why you stop me?" He hit me in the back of the head with the walkie-talkie behind me. So
Let
now
you
it's
know
like,
real quick.
shut the fuck up.
Let you know real quick.
I ain't got nothing else to say no more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So and then they put us in the car. Now his partner jumps over the wall and he goes running.
Okay.
So we there for a little while. They put us in the car, handcuff us, put us in the car.
Do you know this guy that they put against the wall?
No, I don't know.
You don't. So
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know him at all.
All right, let's go.
So now they take us into the park, and then there's some other cars sitting there, and they caught some of them other dudes, and they got them in the car. So the police say, "Well, do you know these dudes?" And I'm like, "Nah, I don't know them.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know these dudes." So they're like, "All right." So at that moment, it was 5 of us that got arrested that night.
Okay.
Right? And so they take us to the precinct.
And these 5, you're not.
And you don't know why you're arrested?
No.
Right.
Okay.
No.
And you don't even know the other 4 motherfuckers.
I don't know the other 4 motherfuckers
Right,
at all.
Okay.
So we go to the precinct, take the photos, they put us in the room, and so we sitting there for a while, and he's like, "All right, call your parents, tell them to get you."
Okay.
Right? So
You feeling like shit is over.
yeah, but not no jail or nothing.
Yeah.
Because then he explains it like, well, you guys shouldn't have been in the park, so they gave us like trespassing, misdemeanor stuff. They was like, we're gonna give you a DAT to go see the judge in family court.
Right.
So your parents got to pick you up and just come get you.
Regular
and take you
kid
home.
shit.
Regular kid shit.
Right.
And so we're like, all right. So that goes on for hours because they got to call our parents. We got to call our parents.
Right.
Parents got to get up, come on down the station. So now that takes hours. Right. And so we're sitting there forever. And it is in it. My dad comes with my grandmother. Right. And so he's sitting out there waiting. But now it becomes like early morning. So he's like, I got to go to work.
Yeah.
Now you're talking 4 or 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
So he's like, listen, he tells my grandmother, just stay with him because they're going to let him go. It's a disappearance ticket. I'll deal with him when I get home.
Let me do a sidebar real quick.
Yeah.
Because I think it's so important. Your pops told you to go. Where did your pops tell you to go that night?
Well, the thing is that what happened was that being in Harlem and you start meeting cats, now you hanging out with cats, and some of them is hustling, some of them ain't.
And your
And
pop
so-
sees this.
And my pop sees this.
I want to bring. I just want to bring it up because dads are important, bro. A lot of times dads get overlooked.
Yeah.
Your dad was very prominent in your life.
He was in my life.
And he was aware of what was going on.
Yeah, he was aware of what's going on. And his thing was just about, listen, you don't got to hang on the corner. You know what I'm saying? Harlem is block to block, every corner. Like, that's what we did.
Right.
And so he said, you ain't got to hang on the corner. You can go to the park. You can go do other shit. I don't need you over here. Because, right down the street from us was a prominent location of
But see, as a 14-year-old, like I keep reiterating, the mindset, you being a follower. No disrespect, you're 14, you're supposed to be a follower.
Definitely.
Right? You're figuring it out.
Yeah.
But also, your pops told you the park is safe.
Yeah.
The park is safe. It's much more safer than running in a building of a bunch of motherfuckers you don't know.
Yeah.
I just want,
it's
because
not like,
I know it's going to come back later, so I just wanted to make sure I touched on it.
And it's not like motherfuckers is telling me, let's go rob niggas in the park.
Nah.
That ain't happen.
Nah.
It's we going over there for a party and we hanging out at the park.
Right.
Because of people that know each other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, back to the timeline. I had to put
So
that
your
in.
grandmother stays.
So my grandmother stays, and then what happens is that now it becomes early in the morning.
Yeah.
And so we sitting there waiting, and so the parents are like, what's going on? I thought we can take our kids and leave. And the police officer, he's like, well, we got some detectives coming in. He said, we got some officers coming in, they want to talk to the kids.
Okay.
But they don't say why.
Okay.
So we sitting out there, we waiting. So the first person who they took in there was Kevin Richardson.
Okay.
Kevin Richardson got arrested that night, but I ain't know him.
Right.
So he's in there for 4 or 5 hours. We don't know what's going on. So now when he comes out, they just usher him out. We don't even see him no more. He's gone. Right? But we don't know. We thinking, all right, he went home. So and then now they call me. They call me in the room.
Do you know how many kids, just average number, they detained from that night?
5.
No, 5.
That was it. Y'all were the only ones.
That was it.
Out of a quote
30,
unquote mob, right?
Yeah.
Didn't they describe y'all as a mob?
Yeah.
And of like how many? Like 30 plus?
To 40. 30 plus. Easy.
Okay. But they retained 5. Mm-hmm. I just want people to understand that, because it's definitely not a coincidence that the only people they retained get charged. You know what I'm saying?
It was random.
Right. Yeah. That's what I'm trying. All right. So go ahead.
And so now, when I get in the room, you know, the detective sits there. He goes by the name of Detective Arroyo, right? And he says, well, you know, we just want to know what happened that night in the park.
Right.
Tell us what you saw, right? And I go, all right, because I didn't really see shit.
Yeah.
So I tell him what I saw.
Right.
And he goes, all right. And he says, nah, he don't write nothing. We just having a conversation. Right. My grandmother's sitting there. But what happened is that he was a Spanish-speaking officer. So he had to stop and he had to interpret to my grandmother. Because my grandmother, she spoke very little English. She was just strictly Spanish. She just knew curse words in English, but she couldn't give you a conversation in English.
He's lying to her in Spanish.
No. In the beginning, it's all good.
Okay.
He's just like...
I just see the bullshit coming.
He's befriending them. That's what he's doing. He's befriending you.
We just need to find out what's going on.
Right.
And so what happens is that, you know, I tell him what I've seen, right?
Right.
You know, the same I'm just telling you right now. And so he goes, all right, but what about the woman? And so my thing is like, fuck you talking about?
Yeah.
Right. What woman?
What woman?
Right.
And he goes, the woman that was raped. And I go, wait, whoa, wait a minute. Like, we do dumb shit.
You're doing no shit like that.
But we ain't doing no shit like that.
Let me ask you a real question, bro. Mm-hmm. Are you even fucking at this time?
I am.
Okay.
At that time, I am.
Okay, I'm asking you because, you know, there's a difference. Like, for them to even ask you that, you 14. It's not a given that 14-year-olds...
Especially not taking and raping them.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, it's not even a given that 14-year-olds maybe even went through puberty.
I might have fucked 2 bitches.
You know what I'm saying? But listen, you might not even went through puberty. I mean, there's kids, probably 15. I don't know. Like...
But they ain't got no pussy yet.
Yeah.
Right.
So, to the fact that for them to even look at you and assume...
I'm gonna hold this woman down and rape her.
Yeah, come on,
I'm
man.
14, bro.
Like, you're not even in,
why'd
like,
you accuse
you're
me
not
of
even
some
sex
stupid shit?
entitled as a man.
Yeah, you don't
yet
really
to
know what
even
that
know
is.
what's happening.
You need help.
Exactly.
You made a bitch come yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
you
you just like, I got something, I stuck it in.
Yeah, right. You on Pebble Beach on a rooftop. Like, you don't even know what, you know what
I'm
saying?
watching Real Sex on HBO, like changing the channel. And mom's coming.
Yeah.
Like, shit is real. So when they say the word rape as a 14-year-old.
So they say, what about the woman?
And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
Because now I'm like, nah, this is crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we go back and forth on it, and he's like, all right, well, just tell me what happened again.
Okay.
So we started the story telling him
all over.
But
for like the 100th time for you that night.
Yeah. But we get to the point of the woman. well, what about this woman? And I'm like, yo, my man, I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
And so that goes on for hours. Because it's estimated that we was in those rooms for 15 to 30 hours.
All right, just please explain
15
to
to
them.
30 hours.
Some things we take for
Asking
granted.
the same question over and over again.
Listen, some things we take for granted because we've been in CID. We've been in question.
You know,
Please tell them what it is.
All right, I'm going to get to that.
Like no drinks, no food, no sleep.
None of that.
No water.
None of that.
No bathroom.
And your grandmother's still
no
sitting
nothing.
there.
My grandma's still sitting there. So
Let's try it. Whatever you think is about.
Yeah.
So and then what happens is that this is how it starts. So, you know, you sitting in there, he's asking me these questions for hours. He knows I'm tired. He knows I ain't eat nothing. He knows I've been sitting in the room waiting to go home.
He knows you're 14.
He knows I'm 14.
Right.
Now, people also got to remember that.
Nah, you good, bro. Just keep going. You good.
And so people also got to remember that because I get that question a lot.
Okay.
How is it that somebody can confess to something they didn't do?
Okay, go ahead.
And I always say you got to look at the dynamic first. You got to set the scene.
Right.
14,
and that's
15
why I
year old
wanted
kids.
you to explain that.
You know what I'm saying? 14, 15-year-old kids who never had no dealings with the law.
Right.
You talking about seasoned detectives on the force 20 plus years. They
Mind
do this
fuckery
shit all day.
Yeah.
They do it. And then because this woman had lost so much blood, they thought she was going to die. So this was the Homicide North Detective Squad. This was the elite of the New York City Police.
Yeah.
Let's say why. North. It was
Homicide North
what?
Detective Squad.
North what? North Manhattan?
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
So
Manhattan,
obviously
She was
they're the
white.
richest cops though.
Yeah,
No, and she's
they
white.
They are considered
100%.
They are considered the elite of the police
But what
force.
I'm saying is they're considered elite because they police the richest neighborhood in the city.
That's right.
That's what I want.
They're
That's what I want
designed
people
to break
understand.
30, 40, and 50-year-old
Understand that
dudes, let alone a 14-year-old.
Yeah. Remember, we don't know about no read technique, none of that.
None of that. Right.
Right? So these dudes know all that already. This
Right.
is nothing.
Right.
This is nothing. And so what happens is that it starts off where, you know, I told you, he has to stop, he has to translate to my grandmother.
Right.
And so what happens is that there's a knock at the door.
Okay.
Right? So the knock comes at the door, and the detective looks in, and he calls my grandmother. Miss Cologne, he tells her in Spanish, can you come outside for a minute? And he talk to you. And because this dude isn't hostile towards me, she's like, all right, everything's fine. She gets up and she walks out.
Right.
Now, when she gets out there, what he's telling her is, we don't feel like Raymond's telling us everything. We feel like he's holding something back, and we just trying to figure it out. But what happens to me in the room is that the first detective walks in, and he tall dude, and he says something to the Arroyo, and then he looks at me. He has like a cup of coffee in his hand or something, and he looks at me. He goes, "What the fuck are you looking at?"
Right.
And I'm just like,
He just lets you know the tone is different now.
Yeah.
It's good
Grandma's-
cop, bad cop.
all day. But we don't know what that shit is.
And grandma's is out of here now.
And grandma's not even in the room.
The pressure's coming. The
So when he
pressure's
goes,
coming.
what the fuck are you looking at?
Right.
I freeze a little bit. And then he just takes a step towards me. Right? Like he's gonna come toward, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
But the knock comes. And they open the door and he walks away. So I'm like, all right, you know, I'm a little shook, but I'm not, you know, I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
So now Arroyo starts with the question. Let's go from the top. What happened? I told you this already. Why we gotta keep going over
Royal's
this?
a bitch.
Royal faggot, straight up.
Yeah,
So
straight up.
we go through it,
Yeah.
right? Another 20
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
But it all leads back to, what about the woman?
Yeah.
Raymond, you bullshit. You're not telling me. Tired of this shit. You know, blowing the cigarette smoke and all that shit.
Yeah.
Don't undersell that kind of shit.
No.
Because it might be a 15-year, 16-year-old in CID tomorrow that's watching the show. So
No, I don't.
Let them know the tactics.
No,
they
I-
blowing cigarette
listen.
smoke. Then what else they doing to you?
I'm gonna tell you, when I get through this shit, it's real.
Let it roll.
So
Let it
now-
roll.
My bad.
So now,
Turn
what-
it into me.
My bad.
so then what happens? Here comes the knock again.
Right.
Right? Same detective comes in. Miss Cologne, can I talk to you one more time? So she gets up and she walks out. Again, it's not hostile to her.
Okay.
So she thinks it's all good. And so now I'm sitting there and the Royal's talking his shit to me. But this time a short detective comes in with red hair. Right? And now he's talking to Arroyo. And he says, oh, who the fuck is this? It's the scumbag that did it, right? And Arroyo's like, yeah, he's not giving us what we want.
Wow.
And in my mind, I'm like, fuck this nigga. You know,
Arroyo was your boy 10 minutes ago.
yeah, but that shit changed real fast.
Right.
So now this detective, what he does is that he pulls up a stool next to me, right? And he gets about this close. And he goes, you know you fucking did it. You fucking stuck your dick in her, right? You know you fucking did it.
Damn.
And at that point, as he starts to do that, Arroyo starts to bark at me, right? So now that knock comes back. My grandmother comes in. This dude gets up and he walks out.
And you 12 hours into interrogation at this point.
Yeah, we in. But at this point, my grandmother sees him shook. Now she's, oh, what the fuck?
Right.
So now she goes, what's going on here? And Arroyo goes, no. It's just he's not giving us.
In Spanish.
Yeah, in Spanish. He's not giving us, he's holding back. And I'm like, I'm giving you what the fuck I know, nigga. I don't know nothing else.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's not coming out like that.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so my grandma's like, well, he's telling you what he knows. And if he don't know nothing about that, he don't know. And Arroyo's still like, well, he's, you know, we think he's holding back. Let's go from the top again. So that's another hour and some change. Right? So now, the same detective, he comes to knock at the door one more time. The same detective calls my grandmother. You know, in her mind, maybe she's like, you know what, I'm going to tell him what the fuck is going on.
Right.
Because this is somebody who's in front of her outside. So she gets up. Now, as she leaves, what happens is that as I'm sitting there, I'm focusing on Arroyo. Because Arroyo is talking to me. And he's telling me, you ain't telling me everything. You holding out. You're going to fucking go to jail. Now he starts getting forceful. Starts yelling at me, cursing at me, all that shit. So now I'm just looking at this nigga and I'm shook.
Right.
14 years old, I'm shook. And what he does is the ultimate. He bangs on the table and says, I'm tired of this shit. You're going to give me what I want. And he lunges over the desk like he's going to grab me. Right?
Yeah.
And at that moment, I'm like, oh, I'm going to fucking die in this precinct.
Right.
I ain't going to make it out.
This is a grown man.
It's a grown man. These are all grown men around me.
Right.
And at that moment, I hear a voice that says, what the fuck are you doing? Right? I ain't even see this dude come in the room. It's another detective sitting in the corner somewhere watching the whole shit.
Right.
But he says, what the fuck are you doing? Are you fucking crazy? Get the fuck out. And he starts barking on Arroyo, right? Kicks Arroyo out.
Damn, they set this shit up so crazy.
I'm trying to tell you,
because I already see what's coming.
So he's like, get the fuck out. Opens the door, slams the fucking door.
Here comes your fake ass savior.
Bad cop.
Yeah, here comes your fake ass savior.
I said, this nigga just saved my fucking life.
Okay.
Right? So, good cop, bad cop, but I don't know what it is.
Of course, of course.
So he comes over and he starts his shit. Raymond, you know, I know you a good kid. I'm sorry about that. You know, and he's like, listen, I know you a good kid. I know you ain't got nothing to do with this shit.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? But there's these other dudes in these other precincts and they saying that it's you. And he's like, you know, I need your help. And I'm like, well, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. Because I don't know.
And he's gonna say, I know what you need to tell me.
So yeah, he knows, but he's, you know,
Right.
So what he does is that he pulls out this picture of Kevin Richardson. Right now, Kevin Richardson was arrested that night. Right, backtrack a little bit. And when Kevin was running from the police chased him down and hit him in the head with a helmet. Right.
Okay.
And hit him in the face with the helmet and arrested him.
Okay.
So now Kevin had this scratch across his face
From the hit by the police.
Yeah, hit by the police. So now he comes in there. He comes to me. This dude was named Detective Hardigan.
Okay.
So Hardigan pulls out this picture of Kevin Richardson. He puts it on the table. He goes, "Do you know him?" I go, "Nah, I don't know that motherfucker."
Right.
He said, "Well, this is Kevin Richardson. This is Kevin. We know he did it." And I'm like, "What do you know?" "I don't know.
Yeah,
I didn't see nothing."
If y'all know he did it, okay.
Yeah. So he goes, "Well, you see that scratch on his face? That's from the woman fighting him off."
Okay.
So we know he did it.
Yeah.
He going to jail, but I don't want you to go to jail.
Say he did it.
I need help. He didn't even say he did it. He just said, I need help. And he just put the picture there and sat back. As a 14-year-old kid,
After how many hours?
15 to 30, they talking.
Right.
I done lost count.
I don't.
You just want to go home.
I'm
bro.
at my, and see, this is the thing.
You just want to go
The
get
thing
in your
is
bag.
that it's to get you to a point of breaking you.
Of course.
And at that moment, they knew I was broke.
Yeah.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? So when he put the photo in front of me as a 14-year-old kid, what
He
are
did
you
it.
doing?
Okay, sure. He did
ain't mad
it.
at
Sure.
you.
Y'all the police. Y'all know how to do shit. I'm sure y'all put evidence together. I'm sure y'all did a crime
and I'm
investigation.
Like, even if I lie, I don't give a fuck. The pressure's
I'm just
off.
trying to go home.
I'm just trying to get this pressure off of me at that moment.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We could deal with the rest of that shit later.
Yeah.
Right.
And so he sits back,
Damn,
right?
shit is
And
real,
it tells
man.
you in business 101, in the meeting, and you negotiating. And when it's that silence, the first person that speaks is the one that loses. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He knew already. He just sat back and just looked at me. I can't even look the dude in the eye because I'm too busy formulating a lie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How the
just
fuck
to
do
get
I
out.
get out of this shit.
Right. Okay, sure I know him.
So I go,
whatever the fuck.
Yeah, Kevin did it. He go, what did he do?
He raped the lady.
He raped the lady. And he goes, okay, did you see him? I said, yeah, I saw him fighting with a woman.
Okay.
And he goes, okay. So what did he do? I don't know, motherfucker. Like,
Right.
I can't tell you.
Right.
All I can say is that he raped her.
He just
That's it.
raped her.
So I said, yeah, he's fighting with a woman. He takes her down.
Right.
So then he goes, okay, now, you know there's another guy, right, named Steven Lopez that we got too.
Right.
You know,
Police.
we know he did it. He going to jail. He goes, but I need your help, man. You saw it. You can tell me what it is.
You know the crazy thing? They telling that to all of y'all. Putting your picture in front of
Exactly.
each one of them and saying the same thing.
Now, look.
Damn, son.
So he goes, I say, all right. Well, Steve helped hold her down. Steve
Sure.
helped hold her down or whatever.
Whatever.
Then he goes, well, what about Antron McCray?
God damn, you might
I
a whole
don't
nother
even know.
dude.
I don't even know these niggas.
Yeah.
Right.
So the only thing that I when I look back in it, that he didn't give me 100 names. If he would have, we would have been. I would have been trying to
Yeah,
place these
piece
people
together.
in there.
100
Piecing them in
Said
there.
100 people held their arms down. 100 people held right.
And so these were the only people that they knew at that time, right? They knew Kevin Richardson because he got arrested that night.
All
knew
they
Steven
had was
Lopez.
y'all. All they had was y'all.
Yeah, they knew Steven Lopez because he got arrested with me. Antron McCray didn't get arrested that night, but he came with his mom to pick up somebody who got arrested that night.
And they just conveniently railroaded this motherfucker.
Yeah. And
Who
so
also ended up doing the most time, by the way.
no, Corey Wise did the most time, but we're gonna get to that one.
Okay.
So the names that he gave me was Steven Lopez, Kevin Richardson, Antron McCray. That's it.
Gave you 3 names.
Gave me 3 names, and so
And these 3 names are your gateway to getting the fuck home.
are my gateway to get the fuck home.
Right.
And so now what happens is that he even says, he starts to say, Raymond, this woman lost a lot of blood. We don't know if she gonna make it. She might die. He says she had all these injuries. Something had to be used. A rock, a brick, a pipe. I don't know. What was used?
You just making shit up at
So
this
I
point?
just go, a brick. And he says, all right, well, who had the brick? And I said, Steven Lopez.
Okay.
Now, if you look at that, he's giving me options.
Yeah.
He's bailing me
I
out.
could have picked whichever one of these niggas.
Yeah.
Give me the first name.
Yeah,
Whoever
but
you
he's-
want it to be.
But now he's coaching me along.
Of
and
course,
he's
of course.
giving me what he perceives to be
it's
the
like
facts.
it's like a teacher helping a kid write a paragraph, right?
Yeah.
It's like yo, this is your assignment. You show a movie or some shit in the 6th grade or 7th grade, which you're supposed to be in at this time. Show a movie. You remember how the intro was? Remember that happened? Oh, sure, teacher. I remember it happened. That's the same way they're coaching you through the shit.
Coaching
and
you through
you just try and get a passing grade on
That's
it.
it. That's it. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm trying
Right.
to get a passing grade with a detective.
And you think passing means freedom.
Passing means freedom because he's telling
Really,
me,
passing means
because he's telling me you want to go
15.
home, right? You
Right.
want to go home.
Right.
You got to help me.
Right.
Help me help you.
right.
And so now, I never write nothing. They write everything. They write it all down. And so, he says, okay, you got to sign this. But before he does that, he
So
goes,
you never wrote anything
I
except
never
your
wrote,
signature?
No, yeah, they wrote everything down. The police wrote everything down. And so he goes, all right, now you saw this. He said, but you got to make it, where were you? Right? And I go, well, I had a distance, but I just watched the whole
You
thing.
still by the reservoir.
Yeah.
That was your last destination.
That's
was
the
the
last
reservoir.
The reservoir. So basically, I'm saying that the rape is taking place at the reservoir.
Which is not true.
It's not true.
Okay.
And they noticed because they found her on 102nd Street.
Right.
So now he goes, okay, so where were you? And I said, well, I saw it, from a distance. And he said, that's not good enough. That's not going to be believable. You have to be at the scene. You have to actually be right there. You can see it. I said, well, I saw where I was at. No, that's not good enough.
No, it's not good enough.
So he goes, so I go, all right, I was at the scene. I saw it. I was right there. He said, but what did you do? You got to make this believe. You want to go home, right?
Right.
You got to help me.
Well, I was holding it down too.
So I said, I reached down and I grabbed the breast. Right? I thought that was the
That
minimum.
sounds believable. It sounds like
It
the
sounds
minimum.
believable. The
minimal commitment to participation.
Yeah,
Right,
I'm not the
right,
person
right.
who penetrated her.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right.
I'm not the
right,
person
right,
who hit her
right.
in the head with the brick.
And at 14, grabbing the titty don't seem that bad.
Exactly. Right? To a 14-year-old, it doesn't.
Right.
And so he goes, okay. So he writes it all down, and then I sign it, right? And he goes, now, I need you to do one more thing for me. And this is over with. And I'm like, what? He says, you're going to go to another precinct, and you're going to talk to another detective, and you're going to tell them the same story you told me.
Damn.
Now.
You was already in too deep. You ain't even know. You was already wrapped.
The thing I didn't know was that statement was illegal, right?
For one.
For
Yes.
one, because
Yes.
there was no parent present.
Of course.
And then number two, it was a new part added in.
Now is it recorded?
No.
Oh.
And I didn't write nothing.
You know what's strange though? You know what's strange? And I'm sure this has been delved into a million times over because of what you went through. But from the research I did, it even seems like they tried to write it in a juvenile fashion.
No, and they couldn't. They couldn't. Approximately, on this day, at 1900 hours, approximately, me and 43 of my friends traveled southbound into Central
It doesn't
Park.
even sound
they couldn't
like
even write it as a kid.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't even sound like how 14-year-old talks.
No,
Right.
And so when you read all that and you go, I travel southbound, northbound, that shit sounds
Nobody
crazy.
knows. All you did was run from.
I don't know what southbound and eastbound.
All you did was
I
run
still
from
don't.
Yeah,
Fuck you talking about?
I need myself.
Fuck you talking about? I don't know where I was at.
You know what I'm saying? And so this is how it's written. And so he's like, all right, so the detective's gonna pick you up and they're gonna take you to the next precinct and you want to tell them the same thing you told me. And so the detective picks me up and this guy's a detective by the name of Mike Sheehan.
And your grandmother's still out there.
Yeah,
She
my
not
grandmother.
in the
Yeah,
room
she
anymore.
never came back in the room.
Okay.
She never made it back in the room.
So you couldn't look at your grandmother and be like, "Is this okay? Me moving?
None of that.
Did I do the right
None of
thing?"
that. She wasn't there. She
Yeah,
wasn't
you
even
don't
there. So this is the reason why they sent me to another precinct to talk to another detective, because she wasn't present. But I didn't know that.
They still took you.
So they still took me.
So they got the bullshit confession out.
Yeah.
Right. The how do I want to say it?
False confession.
Yeah, 100%. The puppet confession.
Yeah.
Lack of a better term, they put their arm and start making you talk. So it's like they get the forced confession, but then to make it justifiable, they want you to reiterate it with your grandmother present.
Yeah.
In order to scramble your grandmother's brain the same way you're fucked up.
Yeah.
But now you got your story straight. Even though it's wrong.
Even though it's wrong.
But now you going
though
in
it's
like
wrong.
he held him down.
Yeah.
I touched her breast.
So now it sounds like
you
yeah,
did it.
And now your grandmother walking in on this story is gonna be fucking crushed.
Yeah. So we're gonna get to that too.
Right.
So now what happens is the detective by the name of Mike Sheehan comes and picks me up and he says, let's go to the park. Show me where it happened at. Right?
This is all the same night.
This is the next day.
Damn. And you ain't slept. You ain't
you
nothing.
slept, none of that. So he goes, well, show me where it happened at. So I take the motherfucker to the reservoir.
So you're in another precinct.
Yeah.
They telling you to tell the same story.
Yeah.
So what happened?
So I get to he takes me to the park and he says, well, show me where it happened at.
Okay.
So I take him to the reservoir, and he's like, what's this? And I'm like, this is where it happened at. And he's like, this ain't where it happened at. And I'm like, this is where it happened at. And he's like,
the only place I was
that's the only
at.
place I know. So
Right.
then he's like, all right, fuck it. So we go to the next precinct. Now he's the person that's conducting the next interview. And so now this time my dad is at the precinct. He comes home from work.
Straight
and
back
he,
to the precinct.
he goes home. He sees I'm not there.
He starts bugging.
Then he's like, oh shit, he didn't come back yet.
Right,
and he
right,
sees mom not there. So now he comes back to the precinct.
Right.
They tell him I'm not there. So he goes to the next precinct. So he gets to the next precinct and I'm there now. And he comes in and so this is the first time that I get something to eat.
Damn.
Right? Because my grandma, he bought me something. So he bought me like a burger or some shit like that.
In how long though? How long has it been?
It's-
15 to 30 hours.
Yeah,
We
15,
just
30
rolled with
hours.
that.
We talking about a whole day. And so now, the same detective, Mike Sheen, they bring me in the room. They bring my dad in the room, and the first thing he says, "You talk to Hardigan, right?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "All right, so you know what we here to do?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
He's
I
like, "All right,
know, I've been trained.
tell me what happened." So now I'm telling them what happened, right? But there's still a part of me that's a little hesitant when it comes to the woman, because I'm lying my ass
And your
off.
dad is right there.
And my dad is right here. So now,
You got a good relationship with your dad.
Oh, yeah, I got a good relationship
You're
with my dad.
definitely less comfortable lying in front of your pops than you are in front of some strangers.
exactly.
Right.
So what happens is he goes, "Well, what happened with the woman, right? Didn't you tell Hardigan, boom, 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 boom?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So now we go into the story about the woman, but now I'm not that resistant because now I'm already trained. So now my dad goes, "Oh, wait, the fuck?
Fuck you
The
talking
fuck,
about?
fuck is..."
Yeah, rape. What
What
the
the
fuck?
fuck?
Right.
So now my dad is like, "Yo, what the fuck? That shit happened?"
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm like, "Fuck," because I don't lie to my father.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm kind of stuck, and I'm like, "Yo, like,
I'm trying to get
Dad,
out
I'm
of here.
trying to
get
get
out
the
of
fuck
here.
outta
You don't
here.
even know, Dad. I got this.
yeah, that's how I'm feeling."
That's the plan. The police told me.
So-
this the plan.
This is the plan.
Right.
So now and then what happens is that Mike Sheen starts to bark on my father.
Damn.
Right? And he goes, "Listen, Mr. Santana, you're a hardworking man. This is official police investigate. I can make shit real hard for you. Right? Shut the fuck up and let us do what we gonna do."
Yeah.
So now my pops,
What's his name? Mike Sheen.
Mike Sheen, right? Went
I
on
want
to
to make sure.
went on to become a news anchor in different news stations, been in movies, but we'll get to him too.
I'll make sure they all get exposed.
So
Go ahead.
so now my dad falls back,
Okay.
right? Kind of shook my pop,
Yeah,
so my
yeah,
dad
of
falls
course.
back.
He's a working man.
He's a working man. He's
Yeah.
not no street nigga.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now, here I am seeing my dad fall back, and then I just continue with the story. And so now at this point, Mike Sheen says, "Okay, now you're going to speak to the prosecutor. Her name is Elizabeth Lederer. Tell her the same story." So originally, my first statement was 2.5 pages long. When you get to Mike Sheen, my statement becomes 5 pages long.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Because now I'm conditioned.
They're getting more and more
and he's
detailed.
adding shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like a movie.
Yeah.
I'm just running with
Yeah,
it.
shit,
I'm
they
writing
writing
a
the
script.
Yeah, they're writing the script.
And then what happens is I meet with Elizabeth Lederer, who's the prosecutor, asking me the same questions, and I do the videotape. And then it's like, all right, you done. Once we get through the videotape, it's over.
Okay.
So here I am thinking I'm about to go, and then they walk me downstairs and they put me in a motherfucking cell with like 10 other dudes. You know what I'm saying?
Grown men.
No. These are dudes, kids.
Okay.
That's from Central Park?
Yeah. Some of these, I don't know none of these niggas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Because now during these days, they went out and they found other cats, talked to them, whatever. So now I'm in there with maybe 10 dudes.
Okay.
Maybe 10 dudes, right? Give or take. And everybody's in there like, "Yo, what did you say? What did you say?" I said I was with my boy. I said I ain't see nothing.
Everybody's
Everybody's saying the
Everybody
same
lying.
shit.
Everybody lying.
Yeah, and
Everybody lying,
said- did,
right?
did the police tell you what to say when you go back in there? They
No.
say, "Don't worry, just tell your boys this."
No. They ain't say nothing.
Okay.
Basically, it was like, "All right, take them out." And then somebody else came and got you, took you downstairs, put you in the pen, get in there and
Okay.
just close the door.
Okay. Okay.
So now we didn't even see these detectives.
Right.
So nobody really say nothing. I'm in there with a bunch of dudes I don't even know.
Gotcha.
Right? And then, maybe a couple hours after that, they do what's called a perp walk.
Okay.
So now each detective takes a boy that's handcuffed and he walks him out to the car. And at this moment when you go out is where you see all the cameras and the lights.
Damn.
So now niggas like, what the fuck is this?
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
The news out there.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
All that shit.
Right.
And so in the movie, that's when you see the prep walk when they walking us to the car, putting us in the
Everybody
car.
just got their head down.
Everybody got their head
Right,
down because
right,
motherfuckers don't know.
Don't know. Right.
And
right.
so at this point, they take us down to the bullpen, process us, and then now you go in front of the judge, right? And then now the lawyer, you get a corner-pointed lawyer, and all he tells you is, don't say nothing, just look forward. Now when you get up there, you stand in front of the judge because the DA got to present the case, that's when you hear it. Well, Your Honor, this night, boom, boom, Trisha Meili was jogging in the park, and these guys raped her, and this person said this, and this person said that, and everybody's like, what the fuck?
And it tricked all of us.
Yeah,
Right.
but not, no, they tricked Some of us.
Okay.
Some dudes just got robbery charge.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody didn't get a rape charge.
Okay. Okay.
So now cats is like, what the fuck is going on?
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? 14 and 15-year-old. After you go through arraignment, you hear your bail is $250,000, right? Cash.
Right.
There's none of that. You know, there's
10%
none of that shit.
Nothing.
None of that. And
In 1989.
What was that? What
Yeah,
was the
1989.
punk motherfucker name? Royo?
Royal.
He's long gone by now.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
So
That's
and
good.
then, and then what happens? They put us back in the bullpen. You know, we see the judge, and then after that we get split. So now, two of the boys go to Rikers Island, right? That's Corey Wise and Michael Briscoe.
Now, why did they go to Rikers?
Because they were 16 years old.
Say no more. Okay.
The rest of us go to Spofford.
Okay.
Right? And
Tell them what Spofford is, because a lot of people don't know what
So
Spofford is.
Spofford was a juvenile max jail in New York City, up in the Bronx.
Crazy.
Right? Where, you know, Willie Boskett, Larry Davis, Mike Tyson, all these dudes.
The
that
last
went
place a teenager
How do you
wants
have
to go.
juvenile max
In the
jail? But anyway,
Yeah.
that shit don't even
I
sound
know you
right.
heard horror stories about Spofford
Yeah.
before you went.
Yeah.
So going, you're like, what
And you
the
didn't
fuck?
do shit.
But it's like you hear about it, but you ain't see it. Then when you see it, it's like, oh shit.
Okay.
And we go into intake, and it's crazy because we go into intake, you got to give up your clothes, you got to take a shower, all that shit.
And you still thinking, I'm innocent. Somebody's
I'm
gonna
innocent,
come save me.
yeah. Somebody's gonna, you know,
Somebody's gonna walk through this door and say, not him.
or they're gonna find out like these niggas lie.
Right.
You know what
right,
I'm saying?
Right.
But it's early, so we just going through the process, and they put us in intake. Inmates is banging on the glass, telling them I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna steal you. You know what I'm saying?
Tell them why.
We don't know
For the
why.
people that
No,
don't
we don't
know.
know. At first, we didn't know why. We just thought jail shit. This is jail.
It's rape, though.
No, we didn't know that either.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
we understand it, but we really don't know.
Right.
So
right,
and then
right.
we're sitting in this intake area because there was so many of us. They had to give us this big area to sit in.
How many of it is you? How many of
At this point, it had to be 5, 7, 8.
So it's
Maybe.
more than just the central part of
It-
5.
yeah,
It's more.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
And so it's about maybe like 8 of us, 7. It's about 7 of us.
Okay.
And so now this counselor comes in, and he's like, "Yo, y'all the dudes that's all over the newspaper, and y'all on TV." So we like, "What the fuck you talking about?" He said, "Yo," and it's a black dude. So he's
Yeah.
like, "Y'all don't know y'all all over the newspaper about raping that woman in Central Park?" And we like, "Hell no, we ain't do that shit."
Yeah.
He said, "Yo, the whole jail want to kill y'all."
Damn.
So he's already telling you, "Get ready. It's about."
He's like the worst counselor ever.
yeah,
by the way.
he's like,
Yeah.
but
Telling you what you in for.
But he,
though.
but
is,
he
but
was the
it's-
coolest.
Yeah.
Like he's on
He's-
some, yo, you don't know what, yo, the whole
Yeah.
jail want to
He's
kill
supposed
y'all.
to walk you into that, though, B.
Nah, he just told us straight
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
So now we're like,
Yeah.
okay, because we all together,
Right.
right? They take us upstairs. They put us in the warden's room. The warden got like this big conference room. So we sit in the conference room. Then they start separating us. You going over, but we don't know. They just like, all right, McCrae, you go to A3. He don't know. He's like, all right, well, I'm going. Just follow him.
Yeah.
But
They
next
don't
thing-
want y'all together to realize that it was a whole bunch of bullshit.
And they don't want us together
want-
because
they
they
don't
thinking
want
this
no-
is jail.
But
You know what I'm saying? Let's separate
But
them.
what they really don't want is any type of camaraderie.
Yeah.
Because they want every single one of y'all to cut each one's throat
Mm-hmm.
the first chance y'all get. So they don't want no type of camaraderie. The last thing they want is a conversation with some little dudes where they could empower themselves and be like, bro, none of us did this shit. Don't incriminate each other no matter what happens. They don't want that conversation to happen.
No.
They want, I don't like this motherfucker. He told me that they want conflict, bro. Go ahead, my bad.
And so they separate us and they put us on a housing unit. And now here I am by myself with 25 other dudes. So the next couple of days, you know how this shit go. This is jail.
Right,
Somebody gets slapped in the face.
right,
One of us fucks somebody up.
Yeah.
right.
You know what I'm saying? That's how it is. But I can't help him because he's in a whole nother house with 20 other dudes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so
That first night, bro. Tell me about the first night up in
So the first night I get there, and the counselor's like, the counselor lied to the inmates. He said, nah, he came from population. They just brought him down as a traveler. A traveler is like when you take somebody from one house and put them on
Right,
another house
right,
just to fill the count.
Right.
to make sure it's a full house.
Right.
So he told me I was a traveler. I didn't know. I just, all right, go with it.
Okay, take it, yeah.
Now it wasn't, and nobody bothered me. Nobody said nothing to me. It
Right.
is what it is.
Right.
The next morning, we go to breakfast, and sitting there and shit, and I hear motherfuckers say, "Yo, call him." So the dude in front of me was like, "Yo, homie, they calling you." So when I turn around,
What does that mean?
It's like 4 or 5 dudes sitting at a table,
Right.
and they're like, "Yo, we gonna see your fucking ass."
Damn.
Because now they're like, "Yo, he one of them niggas," right? So I'm sitting there and shit, and I look like this, and they like, "Yo, we gonna see you, nigga. We gonna see you." And this is in the mess hall.
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody watching.
Right.
Yo, he one of them rapist niggas. We gonna see him. So all I can do is be like, so what I do is I grab a milk, right? Pick up a milk, and I stand up. And
Fuck
I go,
it.
y'all niggas ain't gonna do shit. Y'all niggas is pussy.
Fact.
And then I threw the milk at him.
It's survival mode.
It's survival mode.
Okay.
I threw the milk at him, right?
Right,
And they
right.
ducked like, oh shit, we gonna see him. I'm like, y'all ain't gonna do shit. Fuck y'all niggas.
Right,
All
right.
y'all niggas is pussy.
It's
What?
kind of like, yeah, I did it, so what? Even though I ain't do shit.
But at that moment,
You had to, yeah.
this is
gotta
where that
fight.
Bronx shit kicked in.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
Like,
You ain't gonna do shit to
you
me,
ain't gonna
my
do
nigga.
shit to me.
Right.
Fuck y'all.
Right, because you done heard, listen, man, prior to this whole tragic incident, you done heard jail stories, you
Yeah.
heard how to act, you
You heard about Spofford.
Yeah.
you
heard about
a
Spofford.
bunch of shit. So
Heard about Spofford.
you coming in, now you in here for real.
Now I'm in there for real.
Go ahead.
And I'm at that point like, it is what it is. I'm here.
Right.
You're
It
not
don't
gonna do
matter if
nothing to
I'm
me.
innocent.
Yeah,
but
yeah, it don't matter.
if I'm
It don't
innocent.
matter at the end of the day.
Right, right.
Excuse me. And so I threw the milk at them niggas, and counselors grabbed me, rushed me out, whatever. And then from there it was just
You
like
in PC or they move you?
no.
to
There was
Okay.
no PC in Spofford.
Okay.
It is what it is. And so, but from there it was just like, you say something wrong to me, it's on. We ain't got nothing to talk about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So that, okay.
And so some of the other guys did that. Some of the other guys got pumped. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, we went to court.
So they never.
How long is this court process? Is it 2 months? Is it a year?
No, because I wound up, people started getting bailed out. So what happened is that,
Or for 250?
no, we started going to court. And now when we get in the bullpens, we get to be with each other.
Okay.
Right? And now we get to talk.
Okay.
So what did, now motherfuckers like, yo, niggas did me dirty.
Yeah.
All right, they did me dirty too.
Right.
But it wasn't everybody.
Yeah.
So basically it was me, Kevin, and Tron
Is there anybody
That did what?
that made statements.
Okay. Keep it real. I
Keep it
respect that you keeping it real, bro.
Keep it
Like,
real.
Some niggas just, they tricked me.
Yeah.
And this what it was.
And that's what it was. It was only 3 of us who made statements. So you had Yusuf Salam, who never made a statement, right?
Wow.
You had Stephen Lopez, who never made a statement.
Wow.
Right?
And they
You
still
had-
got bad. They
Well-
still went through.
Well,
because
at
the
that
3
moment,
people said that
other
they did
people.
it.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
So it was only us 3 who made statements. Yusuf Salam never made a statement.
Yo,
Stephen
that
Lopez
shit,
never
that
made a
shit gets me
statement.
so heated though, because they could have took just y'all 3. Police was greedy.
Yeah.
They wanted
Yeah.
they wanted as many as they
But
could
they,
get.
but those 3 said the other people did it too.
Some of them, not
So-
everybody. Because I didn't know. Yusuf Salam
This
is in
the
nobody's
greed.
statement.
Yo.
But
right?
Still Russia.
So, all right, so let's get into that real quick.
All right.
So,
Yo,
Yusuf
that's the
Salam,
greed that hate and racism comes with. It's a greediness.
of course,
to that.
it is.
But
It is.
Arroyo's Spanish.
Arroyo Spanish.
Don't
Yeah, let's-
fucking matter.
But at
It
that
don't
point,
matter.
it's
Matter.
blue.
No, because it's blue.
It's blue.
Exactly.
It ain't black, it ain't brown,
That's
it's blue.
That's the racism.
They riding with
that is.
each
That's
other.
the
Yeah.
colorism. My bad.
Yeah,
go ahead.
no, that's fine.
That exists. Go ahead.
It's really about blue. We blue
Yeah.
and that's it.
Yeah.
Right.
So, in the story of Yusuf and Corey, they were best friends. They both lived in Schaumburg.
Them were the only 2 people that knew each other.
Yeah, they knew Kevin too because Kevin lived in Schaumburg.
Okay.
But they're not.
You didn't know any of them.
I didn't know any of them
All
niggas.
right, let's go.
So now, Corey and Yusuf, who became part of the Central Park 5, right? They were best friends. And so that night they was hanging out. That night they went into the park. When the first shit jumped, when the police flashed the light, Corey left. He went home. Yusuf stood with the group, but I didn't know him, so I can't tell you what happened.
Right.
So what happened is that Yusuf, they was looking for Yusuf, right? Due
Why?
to somebody giving his name.
Okay.
Maybe Kevin, because
Okay.
Kevin knew him.
Whoever.
Whatever.
Right.
So now, what happens is they go looking for Yusuf, and Yusuf is coming home with Corey because they hang out.
Yeah.
Right.
So now, the police is in the hallway. They stop Yusuf. They go, "What's your name?" And he go, "Yusuf Salon."
Yeah.
And they go, "Oh yeah, you on the list."
Yeah.
So they look at Corey. They go, "What's your name?" He go, "Corey Wise." Nah, you not on the list. But if you want to come down with your buddy? And Corey's like, "Yeah, that's my man. Like,
Yeah.
he not gonna go down there by himself."
Yeah.
Corey's 16 years old.
Yeah.
A little
Yusuf-
older. He's like, I can hold him down.
Yeah, he's 16 years old. Yusuf is 15 years old.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he goes down there to the precinct with him, right? Yusuf doesn't make a statement because when they started to use those tactics on him, his mom, they had a big brother program back then.
Okay.
So he had a big brother who was a federal prosecutor. So when they found out he was arrested, he came to the precinct.
And said, don't make no statement.
Don't you can't talk to him. Also, Yusuf's moms came to the precinct and was like, "Yo, that boy 15 years old, you can't talk to him without a parent."
Right.
And they was like, "All right, you're right." So they didn't talk to him. Now Corey was 16 years old, right? Corey has a little hearing problem. He has a little speech problem.
Yeah.
Because he's 16, he don't need no parent. So they get him in the room and start
Crazy.
slapping the shit out of him, fucking him up.
Yo, I gotta say something.
Let's go.
This shit fucks me up, right? Because I mean zero disrespect, right? I think your pops, from the research I did and the story you tell, I think your dad was a great dad. I think that your dad was placed in an environment that he wasn't completely ready to raise a son in. And I think it's admirable to be a working man in that era. Real shit. I think it's an amazing feat. I think no one who didn't live in that era could understand how courageous it is to work a 9 to 5 in the booming crack era.
That's right.
Right? So shout out to your pops. No disrespect. But nobody else had the insight to tell none of y'all don't fucking sign anything.
Yeah, it's true. When you look at people's history, like my dad had a 10th grade education. He didn't finish high school. And everybody else who it was their moms or their sister who was older, they had no experience. They didn't know nothing about the law.
That's what I'm saying. It's like now, he ain't gonna tell this kid to say nothing. But like, at that time, nobody had that much interaction with the police in
Nobody
the
had that much
interrogation
street
room.
smarts. Like
100%.
Like, I'm not
100%.
saying your pop should have hustled or no stupid shit like that, but he would have known.
Yeah, it's true. If he lived that life, he would have known.
100%.
Don't say shit. Be quiet. Wait till I get there. You out of
Whether
there.
you did shit or not.
Whether you
shut
did
the
shit or
fuck
not,
up.
don't say nothing.
It's just this, and it's systematically, it's just a systematic disadvantage to where motherfuckers try and play by the rules, man.
Yeah,
Try and be a good guy.
Yeah.
Try and play by the rules, and you get fucking railroaded.
that's right.
And lose your son.
Can't win for losing.
Yeah, it
My
don't,
bad,
it don't
bro.
pay
I
to be
ju- I
a good
just-
guy sometimes.
My bad. I
You
know.
know,
Nah, it's all good.
I know,
I've
let me
been
get another
jumping.
one.
Go
It's
ahead.
all good.
Yeah, it's
But-
all good.
But Corey Wise went down there holding Yusuf down because that was his best friend. They got Corey in the room because he didn't need no parent. He was 16,
Right.
and the kid confessed.
And
he
first
made
of all,
3
that
different
shit is so
statements.
whack because 16, you still not old enough.
No,
Still not old enough.
like we don't know till now
Yeah.
that a young kid's mind don't develop till he's 24.
Yeah. It real swag.
Even at 24, I was
Nah.
I was bugging.
But think
I was
about it.
bugging.
Scientifically, it says that you
Yeah.
don't really develop until you're 24.
Yeah, yeah.
And you got kids getting life imprisonment.
Right.
My little brother, 23, life sentence.
See?
You know what I'm saying? And he didn't give a statement, but it's still not. You're just not ready. You
You're
know
not
what I'm saying?
ready.
You're just not ready.
You're not ready. Now, if you do something bad, do you deserve a punishment? Yeah. But
And I'm gonna keep it real. Bad, wrong, right, or indifferent. When you that young, your mind not developed. Even if you did that crime, that doesn't mean you're supposed to spend the rest of your life in prison. I don't agree. Whether you kill somebody or not, I hate it. You can say what you want because you can't bring that person back.
Yeah.
But when you're 15, when you're 21, like at the time, you just don't understand the magnitude of what you're doing.
and you know
because you can spend 5 years, 10 years, 15, even 20 years and realize I was tripping and I would never do no dumb
true.
shit like that again, and I don't deserve a life sentence for it.
No,
Like, they
true.
giving
Definitely
14,
don't.
15, 16-year-old kids a life sentence.
life
Whether it's juvenile life or adult life, it's tough. You know what I'm saying?
But we know why now, though. We know why they getting those sentences.
Tell them why.
Because at the end of the day, when you look at like New York State, for example, right? You look at the prison population, right? Population can go anywhere from 65,000 to 70,000, 60 to 70,000 roughly, right? There's about 70 prisons in New York State. Now, when you look at the history of these prisons, because they all mostly upstate New York,
Right.
when you look at the history and you find out that these people were living off public assistance, they were living off of government aid, right? And somebody came in and said, you know what? If I put a prison here, it'll boom the economy of this town,
100%.
right? Now what happens is that
Or
people
even create a town.
Because
create a
it wasn't
town.
shit going
Right.
on
There
in
was no
Elmira
towns.
or in Attica.
They just
or none of
created
these
the
places.
town. They said,
Yeah.
here goes
Yeah.
a place where you can
We
get
can
jobs.
employ all these people, because I went to see my brother 2 weeks ago in Attica. There ain't shit going on
Nothing.
in Attica.
Nothing.
But
But
that prison-
it's
Except the
100
prison.
prison workers, whether it's food workers, whether it's
All that.
COs,
Right.
whether
Wardens,
it's
whatever
counselors,
the fuck-
whether it's nurses,
whatever it is.
all
Right.
in there
All that shit.
that
Right.
employ the entire town.
Them towns
that
are-
town would
and-
go bankrupt if it wasn't for that
And
prison.
I'm gonna keep it real, right? Coming from New York State, when you visit your people in prison, bro, the towns are eerie.
Yeah,
When you
Yeah.
pull in, when you get
Yeah.
off that exit,
yeah,
the towns
it's like
are eerie.
Amityville.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
it's like a
Yeah.
horror movie.
yeah.
It's like, the fuck? Like, what is this place?
And then you look at the budgets that are put behind building, because New York State owns all their prisons, right?
okay.
So you look at the budgets that put behind building a prison. You know what I'm saying? And now you start to see why certain towns have 3 or 4 different jails.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
If you put that budget in schools, it would create better people.
There you go.
But
1,000%.
you're employing people to just protect inmates like it's a jungle, like it's a war zone.
And you're making make-believe communities around the prison. So what do you think the foundation
Well, you know
of
what?
that
They not
community
make
is?
believe. They real. Those
They become-
communities,
they become
real.
But they
Say that.
become
Those
real.
communities are real.
What I'm
Real
saying is
shit.
they become real off the commerce that's created by the prison.
That's right.
So what I'm saying is, if you're a CO with a drug addiction or you want to experiment with drugs, right? But there ain't no hood in your community, but it's a prison. Where the fuck you think you gonna buy the drugs from? You know what I'm saying? It's creative.
It's so fucked
creative.
up because it's like it's tough because like we talk about slavery, right? 400 years of slavery. Nigga, that prison been here 150 of them years.
Right.
So you done fucked up whole generations of motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Where, we don't have slavery no more, but we do.
Yeah.
My brother said he made 10 cents an hour for
right.
12 hours in a day.
That's right.
You know
And
what I'm
where-
saying?
and where does that
So
10
he
cent
make
even
he
go?
makes $1.20 a day. You know what I'm saying? And that's Monday through
Just to get
Friday.
in, it
So
gives it right
if he
back.
get a $30 check for a month, shit, that's what you told me. You said, man, shit, I'll work somewhere for $10 an hour or for $8 an hour, but you done fucked him up coming home.
Yeah.
Right.
Because now he's willing to work for $8 when he come home. That
Right.
shit is bullshit.
And you can't do nothing with $8 out here.
can't do nothing.
Listen, that man
But live a
23,
whole-
had a
but-
kid,
Right.
ain't been to 3 states. But he's willing to work for $8-9 an hour when he come home because you done fucked his mind up. At least I ain't in prison.
That's right.
No, he
You made him
fucked up.
content. You made
yeah,
him content.
now he's
Right.
content.
You made him
Now,
content,
the
exactly.
fuck owning the business. I'm just happy not being in jail.
Yeah.
Right.
Hell no.
No,
Fuck
that's
you
true.
mean?
Right.
100%.
And that's the cycle. That's the shit that we trying to do. Even with this podcast, is that the system is fucked up. Like whether you did it or not, the system is still fucked up.
Yeah.
Right.
Mind
It
you,
don't
he
matter.
ain't do it. The
Right.
system is fucked up.
Right.
Like
Right.
hell no,
Because
I'm
it
not
doesn't
content
really
with that.
matter if you did it or not. It's once they get a hold of you, it's
over.
hard to get loose.
You
It's hard to
systematically
shake 'em off.
victimized.
And
Yeah.
it don't matter if
Victimized.
you never went to prison, but they give you dumbass 10-year probation. Your ass is finished.
You're
Yeah.
finished. You're cooked.
Because you're so scared of not going to jail or whatever you want me to do,
Yeah.
man, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
And that shit ain't right. Because I had a PO, I got sent back for probation violation along with other violations, don't get it twisted, because my PO didn't want me to run my own business. Why not? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to see me successful on my own. You know what I'm saying? That shit is whack. You telling me Work and be a slave until you get off of this shit. And when I buck your system, go back to the can because you ain't doing what we say.
And add on to that.
And when he comes to my house, I got boxes of shit that I'm actually doing. Like, I ain't faking. I was doing the hats. I was doing all this other shit. And I'm like, nah, look, I got 250 boxes. This one, and I'm showing you this is how I'm getting my bread. I really, nah, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Why not? This is legal.
You violated.
No. We're gonna send you back
because you want to have to become.
You gotta work. I said, listen, I watch my daughter all day.
Right.
Why would I spend $200 a week on daycare when I'm only making $400 a week before taxes? So I'm making about $300 a week. Right. Why do I spend all that money when I can clear $700-800 a week doing this?
Right.
No. You can't work for yourself.
Yeah.
Damn, for real?
Yeah. Because it all boils down to at the end of the day that somebody has to be on top and somebody got to be on the bottom. And at the end of the day, we got picked to be on the bottom due to circumstances.
Y'all got picked.
I'm talking about black men in general.
Fuck you talking about?
No.
You met these other dudes. You didn't know them. Y'all been in the bullpen. Dudes is getting bailed out. Fast forward kind of to the trial. How does it? Y'all all decide to go to trial, or dudes is copping out?
Well, what happened? Everybody got bailed out. The last people to get bailed out was me and Corey Wise.
But you got bailed out. What did your bail get? You didn't get.
My bail got reduced to $25,000.
Still couldn't get out.
Still couldn't get out. So
still a lot of money.
No,
cash.
Cash.
Who has 25,000?
Yeah, and Corey, I think his was 50. His was 50, but he couldn't get the bail. So we wound up going to trial. But what the prosecutor
is this
did was,
a year later? Is this a 6 months later?
This is about a year later.
All right, let's go.
So
sitting there a year, you didn't do it. You know you didn't do it. You got tricked. You understand you got tricked.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And so at this point, we totally different now. Like, what happens is that everybody got bailed out. Some people charges got dropped. Some people copped out to robbery charges. People
out of the 10.
Because it was originally more than that. Because
let's say that,
as the investigation went on, other people got arrested. So they got like robbery charges, assault charges, misdemeanor charges.
For shit they didn't do.
For shit they didn't do. Or some of them for shit they did do.
Okay. Not with the lady.
Not with the lady though.
Okay.
We were the only ones with the lady. Everybody else had assaults and stuff like that. And so at this point, it's a lot of them are gone. So it's just the 5 of us.
They had y'all the Fall Guys.
Yeah, they had it as the Fall Guys. It was the Central Park 5, and then there was one more dude. Right.
Well, I wonder, listening to this, I wonder if y'all was the youngest.
No, we were. We were.
Let him roll.
We were the youngest. Me and Kevin were the youngest.
Okay.
Right. And so that, at this point, it's 6 of us. And so what happens is that they break it up into 3 trials. So
2-2-2?
No, 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
So who they put Dolo?
This kid that was named Stephen Lopez.
Okay.
He didn't make no statement. There wasn't no evidence against him. Nothing.
Okay.
It's just that. So what happened is that we were the first trial. So it was me, Antron, and Yusuf. The trial lasted about 3 months.
Damn.
Right? Just presenting police.
How many court dates?
Every day.
Oh,
every day.
God.
Deliberations, you was there on a Saturday. The only day you didn't go was a Sunday.
Never heard of that.
You got one suit. Y'all rocking the same.
But go ahead.
So ours lasted about 3 months, and then we got convicted, right? And so once we got convicted
of what?
Of maybe 11 charges out of the 12.
Fuck.
Right? Now you're talking. Listen, the thing that we banked on was that we knew they needed, because they had 2 swabs of evidence, right? The person, whoever did this crime, he left semen in the woman, and he also left it on the sock. But they knew that it came from one person.
Were they doing DNA back then?
Well, DNA was new.
Okay.
But they had that DNA evidence.
Okay.
And so we were one of the first cases that was tested with DNA.
Okay.
And so what happens was that because they thought that we did it,
right?
They came, they took blood samples, hair samples, saliva samples.
They just knew that you did it.
They just knew that we did it. So they was like, all right, we just got to collect the evidence. And once it comes back, this is a slam dunk.
Yeah.
So now you're talking blood, saliva, hair. You're talking handprints, footprints,
Everything.
clothes,
Everything.
everything. They
Yeah.
took everything.
It measured your feet.
So they sent it out,
Yeah.
and this was done by the feds.
Okay.
It comes back, nothing
Nothing.
matches.
Nothing.
So at this point, they're like, what the fuck? We
Right.
thought this was a closed case. We had it.
Yeah.
And it's at that moment is
And
where
you got a confession.
and they got a confession.
Right.
But without the evidence, the confession
don't
looks
match up.
shaky. It don't match
Especially
up.
from a bunch of 14-year-olds.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So
Right.
here we are saying, all right, this is the part where they realize we lying.
Right.
And this is the part where they go, all right, let's go back and figure out
Something
what happened.
else happened.
What
in
went
there.
wrong.
Right.
Right? And they never did that. They
course
said,
not.
fuck it.
Because perception
We got it.
It's
is
reality.
1,000% reality.
So even though we was in the newspaper every day, within the first 2 weeks of this case, there were 400 articles written about us.
Damn.
Right? We was on every major
No social
television.
media.
None of that.
Imagine, bro.
None of
listen,
that.
real shit. Y'all wouldn't have did no time if social media existed, because it would have been too much exposure.
It'd be one or
on
the other.
information.
It'd have
It
been,
would've been
yes,
one or
they
the
did
other.
it, or
It'd have been one or the other.
no,
I
fuck,
see
let's
what you're
ride
saying.
against
Or
it.
the wave
You know
would have
why?
rode against y'all
Yeah.
so
You know
crazy.
why? You know why I say that? Because
Because they said they did it.
the articles that were written about us were so like they dissected your
Slanderous.
life as a 14-year-old kid. And if you had a fight in the neighborhood, they wrote about that.
Yeah.
So now they painted. Remember, all right, the term super predator that came from us. When
Word.
Hillary Clinton said when Bill Clinton said super predator, and he changed the juvenile laws in 41 states, that was because of us.
You know the crazy thing about it? Everybody
Damn,
say
son.
Bill. Let me say this real facts. Everybody say Bill Clinton was the first black president. He played the saxophone. He was on Arsenio Hall.
Why?
Him and Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, because he got his dick
changed.
sucked.
Nah,
Fuck
they
outta here.
changed the prison laws to
They
the
started
worst
mass
prison
incarceration.
laws.
Mass
Mass
incarceration.
incarceration. They
Mass
fucked up our
incarceration.
generation.
Everything.
Yeah.
Fuck everybody. Fuck George Bush. Fuck everybody. Bill Clinton started mass
Fuck
incarceration.
even Trump's
bro.
rhetoric.
don't
Fuck the
let
rhetoric.
don't let the smoke screen fool you because
Word.
he played the saxophone and got his dick sucked in the White House.
Right.
He fucked up generations of our life
Word.
because he started masquerading. Ronald Reagan hurt us too.
Yeah.
With the drug law, with the
drug
war on
laws.
drugs and all that. But Bill Clinton fucked us up. Do y'all research? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like we here
Yeah.
to school you. Like we ain't here to just talk shit like we don't know what we talking about. Like do you use Google to your advantage? You know what I'm saying? So
That's what it's there for.
But
Word,
go ahead.
Word.
And you know, so he
Well said.
So when you hear the term super predator, that was made because of us. When you hear the term of wilding, the police made that.
I
That
gotta
term-
stop on that
there
for a
we
second
go.
too.
He
I gotta
wanted to
stop
talk
on
about
that.
wilding.
Just real quick.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
We live in the age of information right now.
Uh-huh.
When we use slang terms, they spread faster.
Yeah.
Are you telling me that y'all went in there and just said, yo, we was in the park wilding?
No.
And they took wilding as a word of a pack of individuals that want to terrorize.
They use wilding
Innocent.
wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
Somebody said, no, dudes was just wilding out.
Jews was wilding. That's
and
what
they
I'm saying.
took that terminology and said, oh, this is what it means.
Yo,
Okay.
you
And
know,
then they gave it to the world.
when I did my
no,
homework
no,
real
no,
quick,
okay.
real quick, when I did my homework on this shit, I'm just gonna take a personal responsibility because I use that word on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Every
gonna
day.
try to get rid of that word.
I'm not.
I'm gonna tell you,
I'm not.
I just am because when I looked and did my homework, I said, God damn, they like.
I mean, wilding is wild, but that's not what it is. Like I was telling him earlier because we was talking about this before you came. I went to my brother's trial, right? The prosecutor said he was making a play. This is in his text. They took my brother's text. My brother got convicted. No eyewitness. No murder weapon. No DNA. Right? He got convicted off cell phone texts and like pings and shit, right? It was bullshit.
Right.
And in the courtroom, my brother gonna come home on appeal. Let me say this. But in the courtroom, the DA told the jury, he said he was catching a play. Catching a play means robbing somebody and killing them.
Wow.
But you're telling the jury this,
Now
and
you
they
see the connection.
and they
Yeah.
see his text message said I was catching a play, and that's what it means. He's instantly guilty.
Yeah.
Catching a play means I'm going to make a deal. That's illegal, But that doesn't mean I'm killing somebody and I'm robbing them. Catching
Definitely
the play
not.
mean get some money. I
Right.
hope I never have to pull out my gun and rob somebody catching the
course.
play.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Catching the play means I'll be gone for 20 minutes,
But
I'll
in
be
terms,
home.
as we put this to, as in wilding means they're a wild pack of animals and they're going to do some dumb shit. No, we was just wilding out.
wild.
Well,
We was wilding out.
It's
We
true.
might have been fighting, but we wasn't raping bitches and killing them either, or attempting murder.
Well,
Right.
it's deeper than that because
Right.
what happened was that the person who told them that had to be a correction officer. Because what happened was that dudes was in the bullpen when we went through the arraignment process, right? And there was a bunch of dudes in the bullpen, and motherfuckers was in there singing Self-Destruction. Song by KRS-One.
Of course. Amazing record.
East Side.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? We Harlem.
Right.
You know, that video was filmed in Mount Morris Park. Right? Like 2 or 3
Damn.
blocks from where I lived at.
Okay.
So they was in there singing Self-Destruction, and the CEO said they was in there singing Wild Thing. And that's how it became Wildin'.
Damn.
Tone low.
What the fuck?
They said, oh, they was in there singing Wild Thing. Wild Thing. And we was like,
Wild
Wild Thing?
Thing.
We don't even like that shit.
Hell no, that's not even a word.
It's not, so they that's where it started from.
Okay, see, I thought
That
it
shit is
came
deeper
from
than rap.
interrogation.
That's why
No,
you
no,
where
talking
a kid
to the
was like,
man.
"Yo, we was just in the park wilding."
That's why you
we,
talking to the man in the interview.
Now,
Damn.
somebody could have said that in the interview because
Okay.
that was a terminology that was used.
Yeah,
course.
Wilder.
But it really originated with a CEO who didn't know, and he said, "Oh, they was in there singing Wild Thing,"
Wow.
and it became, "Oh, somebody did say they was wilding."
and that shit ran
Wilding,
rampant
ING.
through the media.
And it became, this is the terminology for kids rampaging through places they're not supposed to be, causing
Not only
committing crimes.
rampaging though, but in words that basically made you guilty of numerous charges.
Yeah.
Rioting, loitering,
Yeah.
group, whatever.
We were
All
called urban terrorists,
That's what I'm saying. Urban terrorists.
wolf pack.
All off the word wilding.
All that stuff became associated with
Yeah,
us
so
back
please, man, please. To our viewers, spread the word. Like, please don't. I don't want to see a 14-year-old go to jail because he texts lit, but it means set a house on fire or some crazy shit. I don't, you know.
Yeah, man.
So go ahead, bro. My bad. My bad. But yeah, but no, it's real. It's real because in the age of information, people who have certain agendas, whether they be racist or whatever, they can't use those things anymore because information age makes things transparent. So we see what words mean, we see whatever. So hopefully that shit don't happen.
But
no
it
more.
still happens because we in the age of Trump, right? We in the age of where somebody's upset because Black and Latinos have made strides throughout the years,
Right.
Right? And so this person who took out $90,000 ads to give us a death penalty in 1990,
Which is Trump.
Okay.
you know, figured out that if I cater,
Hold on. Trump is president.
Trump is president.
In 1990, he put out
He
a
makes a
$90,000 ads, multiple,
$85,000 page ads
saying
in
that
4
you
major
just-
newspapers talking about bring back the death penalty
For y'all.
because of us.
So let's say let's not sugarcoat it. It's saying, yo, kill these 14-year-olds because we think that they did something.
And he wasn't the only one. There was a guy by the name of, I think, Buchanan, who he wrote an article in a newspaper, and he said we need to be hung from trees in Central Park, right? He said Corey was the oldest. You need to bull whip him in front of everybody. I mean, people were calling for us to be castrated. People were calling for us to die. We received death threats. Like, we received hate mail. Like, we received phone calls.
Okay.
Yusuf has a letter that he got in, I think, 1990, late 89.
Yeah.
And the letter said, it was some type of group, some type of organization. It's a handwritten letter. And it said 30 years from now, somebody's going to come and tap you on your shoulder. And when you turn around, you know what it is.
Damn.
Right.
Next year marks the 30th year of this case.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? This is what we had to deal
So
with.
that still resonates.
Now. Okay, let's fast forward. You're convicted. How much time do you get?
I get 5 to 10 years.
Okay.
Off a complete, no evidence bullshit conviction.
Yeah, because what happens is
you didn't get convicted of attempted murder, or you did?
No, we didn't. I didn't get convicted of attempted murder.
Okay. So you do 5 to 10 years. You go to the board in 5 years.
Yeah.
All right. How is your bid this 5 years? Is people labeling you a rapist and trying you, or you kind of smooth through your bid?
In the beginning, not in the beginning. You know, this is prison.
Okay.
You got to set your stance and you got to hold your ground.
Right.
You got to grow up very fast. But what happens is that as the year, because I get transferred to an upstate prison, right? Goshen Secure Center is a max jail for juveniles, right? And so I go there and I spend 5 years there.
You went straight from Spofford
to there.
You did 5 years straight there.
5 years straight there. So altogether, I did almost 7 years.
Well, Spofford did that because, shout out to John Wayne, when we had him, he told us Spofford was really rough, but it was also like the super like preparation for real prison. Like he was ready when he went.
It is.
That's
Spofford is. Spofford, I mean, you know, I seen John Bunn come through. Shout out to Ching Bing, right? Was on
Ching Bing official Thugged Out Thursday. Drink Champs family. Ching Bing, where the fuck you at? You supposed to be here. We coming to New York. We doing a double episode. Stop playing with us, man. All our Drink Champs family. This is Sidebar. La Nave, because we said it wrong the first time.
Drink Champs Sports.
Podcast.
Hungover
Podcast. Drink Champs Sports.
Yes.
Man, the family tree, man. Family Ties. Who's Crazy. DJ at EFN.
All of them.
Shout out to homie Nori. Everybody, man.
Capone, you know.
Shout out Capone on official Thugged Out Thursdays. We already know this about to be a real live circulation, man.
But it does. It prepares you. You know, I watched some guys come in. They were younger than me. I seen them grow in the system. You know, and when you go from there because some of those guys, you get tested, right? And at that point, when they came in, I had over a year and a half in there. At that point, when they come in, I'm the oldest dude in there. I'm not the oldest. I got the longest time in there. So I have a little bit of status when they come in. And so I get to see them grow. And then I get transferred to Goshen. And then they all come to Goshen. And, you know, at this point, I'm a totally different person.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so in that process of the 5 years is where I start to gain some knowledge. I start to read these books and I start to really understand what happened to me. Damn. Why it happened to me. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I go to college. I get a degree. You know. And
explain to them how. They had a program.
Yeah, they had a program at this time. They had college program in those facilities before Pataki came in, because Pataki ran on taking out colleges when he went to be governor, and he ran on building more prisons in upstate New York.
All kind of undercovers coming at me.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Pataki got all kind of undercovers is coming at me.
Yeah,
AZ, man.
Yeah, and so at this point, it becomes smoother for me. Why? Because, you know, those counselors and those senior counselors, they watch me. Right. And they start to see that I'm a different person. And it comes to the point that where they go, wow, maybe he didn't commit this crime because he doesn't have characteristics of what we perceive to be
crime committed.
Now listen, in 5 years, you go to the board at 5 years, right? They hit you at the board.
Yes.
People don't understand, when you get hit at the board in New York State Prison, every 2 years you go back to the board.
That's right.
So after when you get hit at the board, they say 2 more years.
Yeah.
What happens in that time?
So what happened was that they hit me with 2 years, but I earned the conditional release date. If you don't have life and you have a number in the back, you serve about 2/3 of that and you get a conditional release date. You got to earn that, and I earned it. And so because
by not getting in trouble,
being the longest inmate in Goshen Secure at the time, having the highest level. You know, all the accolades that I have.
When you left Goshen Secure, where did you go?
Oh, from there, I went to Downstate Correctional. And I spent about 4 months there, and then I left and went home.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? So
you're on parole for the rest of the time?
I'm on parole. But what happens is that because I feel like I'm mentally prepared and I'm ready to come home and be productive.
Right.
But when I come home, I don't know that I got to register as a sex offender. I don't know that I have to attend sex offender classes.
Means.
Right? I don't even know. I don't know that I have a 7 o'clock curfew. And that's just the stipulations. Now, remember, I'm coming home from doing 7 years in prison. I have this pent up aggression in me.
Of course.
I have this.
Paranoia.
Yeah.
You got all type of shit.
I can't be around a lot of people in the
Listen,
room.
you got PTSD.
Yeah.
And you know what's so real is you still coming home a young man.
Yeah.
You 20 what?
I'm 21 at about
Come on, man.
Yeah, 20,
you still a
about to be
kid.
22,
Real
yeah.
shit. You still a
Yeah.
kid. At 21, I know definitely I was
Like you ain't really went on first dates for
None of that.
real.
Nah.
Like
But, and it's so fucked up, right? Because you coming home to the same environment that trapped you, realistically, right? But you get home, the environment ain't changed. But guess what? Somehow, in the worst possible way, you got more credibility than ever.
Yeah. Because I survived the bid.
So what the? Not only a bid, a 7-year bid.
A 7-year bid.
So compared to the average 21-year-old who might just be saying, you know what, I'm gonna pick the streets. I ain't going to college. I'm gonna hustle, or I'm not gonna go work for my pops or my mom's, whatever. I'm gonna hustle. You got the credibility. So it's probably 10 motherfuckers in your neighborhood who ready to front you some work, but it's probably only one bullshit job that's ready to hire you.
Yeah, I couldn't get no job.
So what?
sex offender.
Yeah.
So what's your mind
Sex
state
offender.
at 21, knowing you was wrongly accused and convicted, but you get a second chance on life?
10 minutes.
Knowing you get a second chance on life, you come home and you choose to hustle.
No, he gets a job.
Get a job first.
Yeah, I get a job first. I get a job first that pays me like $60 a week.
Right.
It's killing me. I got to unload 1,500 piece trucks with 3 other dudes.
And outside,
outside,
the world is happening.
Yeah, the world is happening. My mans and them is doing good. They driving BMWs and Lexuses back then, right? They popping bottles. They got girls. They got Cubans. Real Cuban link
Real
change.
Cuban.
Real Cuban link change.
Yeah.
Big shit.
You know
What
what I'm
year
saying?
you come home?
I came home 1995.
You in the Cuban link era. You in the Raekwon
yeah.
purple
I had
tape.
it.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
yeah.
Raekwon
that was
purple
perfect.
tape era.
I came home to that and it was like, oh my God, this is.
I call my nigga son because he shine like one.
yeah.
You come
All
home,
that. Rainy
all
days.
Nautica spring coats.
Come
Yeah.
on, man.
Everything.
What you talking about?
Everything.
Yeah.
Boss America sweatshirt.
Yeah.
All that.
It wasn't Gap no more. Now it was Pele.
Yeah.
Right.
Now it was
Right.
a whole different era
Right.
of clothing.
100%.
And do you feel like you had expectations coming home because you did that bid?
Yeah, I felt like I was mentally prepared. I was going to be successful until I got hit with
In a-
those
in a
roadblocks.
Fuck
legal
if
manner,
you did
though.
it or not. You
Fuck
an
if I
OG
did it or
nigga.
not.
Fuck you mean.
I survived it. I'm here now. I'm going to start fresh.
What's up?
But
What's up?
I didn't know about those roadblocks. And when I got hit with those roadblocks, that was a new experience. I didn't know how to prepare myself. I didn't even know how to handle that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. I kind of have to fast forward because we're going to wrap up
Yeah.
soon. Listen, how do you get exonerated? Because obviously you didn't do it. You did your whole bid. What happens to make you keep fighting to get out of your case, or do you?
Well,
does it just come on your doorstep?
At this point, I go back to jail because of the drug case, right? I catch a drug
You
case.
catch a new drug case.
I catch a drug
What
case.
was the drug case?
Possession with the intent,
crack,
right?
cocaine.
Crack cocaine.
All right.
Okay.
Right?
You come home and they force you to be the gorilla they trying to turn you into.
Yeah, and they turned me into
Because
the gorilla.
you know why? Because you got hired in the job they prepared you for. So you didn't go to high
Now you have the
school.
resume for
Yeah,
the
yeah,
new
yeah,
job.
Yeah, you
I don't
got
gotta fill out no
your you got your
applications or nothing.
associates.
Yeah.
You got your associates in your high school diploma
in the
and all
crack
that.
era.
Right,
In
but
the
you
crack
got
era.
in prison,
Yeah.
which is different.
So go ahead.
And so what happens is at this time now I'm guilty, right?
100%.
I'm guilty.
You know you did that.
I know I did this.
Yeah.
So I don't go in there trying to beat the system.
But they railroaded you with that.
I
charge.
know.
100%.
But
How much you got caught with, bro?
Oh, listen, I got saved on that. I got saved on that because what happened was that the drugs that I was flipping, right? My man had owed somebody some money, and so he said, "Yo, here's this 50 grams. Bring me back whatever you're gonna bring me back." But he gave me some bad coke because my man owed the money.
Okay.
So he did me dirty. That's what I got knocked with. So when they came back from the
It
lab, it
didn't
was
come
garbage.
back right. Yeah.
It was garbage. But because who I was, they wasn't giving me no breaks.
Right.
So what I did was I went in and I said, look, I'm guilty. I told the Lord, I said, I'm guilty of this.
Right.
I was slinging drugs, all that. Give me something I can handle.
Okay.
And because of that, I was able to get a smaller sentence.
What you get?
I got a 3.5 to 7.
That's not a small
Well,
sentence.
That's
it-
not.
Let's be clear.
Let's be
That's
clear.
not a small
Listen,
sentence.
The judge was gonna offer me a 2 to 4, and I was like, I'll take it because I know I'm guilty.
Okay.
I'm not gonna sit here and play with y'all.
Right.
And then the DA came back and said, we'll give you a 3.5 to 7. In my mind, I said I did 7 years. A conditional release there on this is about 4.5. I can come back.
Yeah.
I could survive this shit.
Yeah.
I survived the worst.
Word.
That's what I'm betting on.
Word.
So
You know what
happened?
I'm saying?
So what happens?
So
at
now
this time?
I'm in jail. I'm in my 4th year in Franklin Correctional Facility, which is about maybe a couple of miles from the Canadian border.
Right.
And what happens is that police call me and they tell me to pack up and go down to Franklin. Right? I mean, sorry, go back to downstate.
Okay.
And I go down to downstate and I'm sitting there in front of some detectives. And they trying to question me about the rape of the jogger.
Yeah.
What?
And I'm sitting there saying,
Still?
yo, we ain't do that shit.
Yeah.
Now I'm a
What
different
the-
man.
Yeah,
I'm grown.
yeah,
I'm grown.
you-
I ain't
yeah.
going for none of that.
Right.
We ain't do it. But what I didn't know was that another man by the name of Mateus Reyes, who was in Auburn Correctional Facility,
DNA hit.
not even,
Okay.
is spinning the yard, right? Walking around the yard, circular
Yeah.
motion, talking to his man. And who he sees Corey Wise. My co-defendant is in the same yard as him. And now Corey's in his 13th and a half year
Of your original sentence.
of our original sentence. He's still in prison. So Mateus Reyes goes up to him.
Meanwhile, Corey
Let him
skipped
finish.
Spofford.
Yeah, he went
straight
straight to
state
Rikers
prison.
Island.
That's all I want to say.
So he sees him in the yard and he stops and talks to him. Back in 1989, they was in C-74 together. They had
And
a fight
Rikers,
over
on
the TV.
Rikers.
Over the TV.
They had a fight over the TV. Corey got there April. He got there July. Right? He was known as the East Side Strangler, the East Side Rapist.
Right.
Right? So
Right.
now he sees Corey in the yard. He goes over and talks to him. Corey, what up, man? How you doing? You remember me? And they like, yeah, I remember you. They had a fight over the TV. And he talks to Corey about that. And he's like, yo, man, I apologize about the TV.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he tells Corey how he found Jesus and how his life has changed. Meanwhile, the dude is in jail for like a murder of a pregnant woman, the rape and
All
murder
type
of a
of wild shit.
all type of wild shit.
Right.
But he develops a conscience when he sees Corey. So he goes back to his mans in him and he says, yo, I feel bad. And they go, what? He said, some dude is in here because of some shit that I did. And they said, you got to tell him.
You know, he said in the research I did, he said, I seen the pain in his eyes. That's what he said.
Let him finish, but we ain't
That's all I got to say.
So
That's
now
all I
he
gotta
goes
say.
and he speaks to the chaplain because he's going to church on a regular basis. And the chaplain telling him, yo, you got to do the right thing. And so this dude had to go up the ladder and tell the warden, he had to tell Attorney General, until they call the district attorney's office and they said, look, you need to come reinvestigate this shit.
Damn.
And even then, they was like,
They ain't want to do it.
they didn't want to do it.
Hell no.
So now what they do is they say, well, we do got the DNA marker. Let's test it. So they test it. Oh, shit, it's a match. This dude is the East Side rapist.
Undeniable.
So now they talk to him, and the dude
Undeniable.
is like, yeah, I did it, and I did it alone. You know my MO. The jogger was found bound and gagged, and all her injuries was right here. That's his MO. That's what he does to his victims.
That's what he does, yeah.
Then he tells them, upon leaving the scene of the crime, there was a lot of blood on my pants. And I got stopped by 2 officers in the car who knew me because he used to be there's a precinct on the east side, and he worked at a deli right around the corner from the precinct. So a lot of police officers knew him in that area. So they stopped him. They said, yo, you see some kids running around? He said, nah. He said, if they had looked at it, they saw all the blood on my pants.
Wow.
And he walked away. And they
Wow.
went looking for us.
For the kids.
So now, this dude had to literally prove that he did it.
And they ain't want him to be guilty.
They didn't want to be guilty. They wanted him to be the 6th man.
Right,
But they
right,
couldn't
right,
because
right,
they knew
right.
his MO said he worked alone.
Right.
Then he said, I'm going to tell you how real it is. He gave him like 4 cases that were unsolved. They went back and researched them and said, this motherfucker did those too. Now he's like, you think I got to lie to you? I did that shit.
Yo, and in the research I did, there was a detective with the unmatched DNA who was actually Homeboy's DNA, right?
Yeah.
Also working on y'all case at the same time. So he's sitting there with all the evidence in his face,
Yeah.
but can't connect the
And
dots.
that detective is Mike Sheehan.
Thank you.
So Mike Sheehan was looking for Mateus Reyes, and what happened was a rookie cop, another cop went and asked the hospital if they found anybody with stitches on their chin, and that's how they found Reyes. But they didn't catch Reyes. What happened was Reyes' last victim, he went into the building through like a side entrance because they were doing construction, and he ran up in his woman's house and he raped them. And as he went to tie her up, she ran out and ran downstairs and tore the doorman, and that's how they caught him.
Damn.
The police didn't catch him. The dudes in the building caught him.
The police did zero good work.
Listen, all right, hold on. Fast forward, you go do a second bid, they turn you to an animal. Where does the bread come in at? How do y'all sue them?
So what happens is that once we get exonerated, because the DA's office released a 52-page document on how we innocent.
Okay.
Right? 52 pages.
Okay.
So now it's like, this is clean cut. These niggas didn't do this shit.
Yeah. Right.
So we get exonerated in 2002 in December. We filed a lawsuit in 2003. Now what they do is that you're supposed to file it what they call in the court of claims. The court of claims only pays you based on the amount of prison time you did.
Okay.
Right? So what happened was they said, listen, let's settle this case out. We'll take care of you guys. We're going to right this wrong. But they only wanted to pay us based on the prison time. So for all of us, they offered us like some short bullshit money.
Yeah.
Right.
And my lawyer said, let me think about it. Then he came back and he dropped a federal lawsuit on them. And they was like, what are you doing? And I said, well, why did you drop a federal lawsuit? And he said, because the feds have to play a middleman. When you go in that room of all that evidence, the feds let you get everything.
You know what's so crazy? When they offer you money off your time, it's only a reiteration of having no value on your life. Because they thinking you wasn't gonna make nothing of yourself.
That's true.
We're not gonna give
You about
you.
to make 80,000 a year.
So they go, yeah, this is good for you.
Right.
You'll take this. You're right.
The memories is priceless. Right. The kids you would have had was priceless.
Yeah, exactly.
And so now, when we file on the federal level, they give our lawyers all of the information. The feds don't play. That's one thing. When you file on the federal, they give you all the documents. And that's how my lawyers was really to uncover all the shit that they did.
So 5 people, I heard it was 50 million. I heard it was 100 million. How much was it?
$41 million.
Between 5?
Yeah.
Respect.
I mean, at the end of the day,
that's 8 million a person.
And it still ain't enough.
Definitely not enough. But how many people after now? What did the lawyers get out of that?
they get a third. Now, this is the thing. This is why I said you got to have good legal representation.
Okay.
Some lawyers will bill you by the hour. By the time they finish, you ain't got no money.
It's like a record deal.
But our lawyers was like, no, we're gonna take a third, right? Which is the right thing to do.
Okay.
And they make sure it was easier to negotiate their legal fees than it was to negotiate our settlement.
Word. No, definitely, definitely.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, are any of the Central Park 5 broke?
No.
Respect.
Because again, when you got good lawyers and they fought with us for so long, it becomes more than just client and attorney. So, you know,
y'all been dealing with each other for years. It's more, it gets love at that point.
So
$40 million is a lot of money.
A lot, but not enough.
Yeah. Not enough.
Well, but at the end of the day,
some people get nothing.
Some people get
Let's
nothing.
get twisted. Don't let it get twisted.
But at the end of the day, the money really takes care of your kids.
Right.
Definitely.
You know, you get to get a house and you get to do this, but that money really goes investing towards your kids' future.
Now, I know we got to wrap, but what do you got going on right now, man? Just to plug whatever you got going on.
With your 40 million.
Yeah.
You know, they were a little light, little 40 piece. I don't care if it's 5 between first. That's still a lot of money.
It wasn't worth what you went through, obviously.
Yeah.
But
did you get your settlement in 03 or did it take a lot of years?
No, it took us 11 years to get the settlement. To reach a settlement.
So you're talking about
the city fought us
2014.
Yeah.
And you got to just survive through
the city fought us tooth and nail. But that's another story too.
You got a lot of money.
We'll
come back in part 2, but you still got a lot of money.
Yeah,
I'm sitting next to a millionaire.
Shout out. This is our first millionaire.
First real millionaire.
Yeah, let's go.
On the book.
Let's go. So tell them what you got popping.
So what I did was that, you know, back in '89, I was 14, so I used to love to sketch.
Okay.
Right. I always drew clothes and shit like that and cartoon characters. And what happened was that when this happened to me, it derailed me. right?
course,
So
of
it
course.
killed my dreams. And so years later, in 2003, I was sitting there talking to a good friend of mine by the name of Rashid Young, who was he was Russell's right hand man. He ran Run Athletics, Fat
Russell
Farm,
Simmons.
Russell Simmons.
Okay.
He ran pastry, and so he was like, "Well, you got all this money now. What you gonna do? Go live your life.
Right.
Go and travel, enjoy." And I said, "I have this one passion that I do want to live." And he said, "What?" And I said, "I want to design clothes."
Okay.
Because that was something that was lost.
Okay.
And this is how Park Madison NYC was born.
Park
It
Madison,
symbolized
NYC,
me.
clothing line in front of us.
Right.
Follow it.
It symbolized
Google it.
me getting something back, recapturing and getting something back that I
And
lost.
you know what? Just from hearing your story, I think it symbolizes creation for you.
Yeah,
Where,
definitely.
Where in your life story, people did the opposite. They destroyed things. So this gives you a chance to create and build, which is the illest thing we could all do. So that's dope. That's
Appreciate
dope,
it, man. Appreciate it.
No,
Now
definitely.
listen,
Yeah,
and that shows
definitely.
no matter what you've been through, innocent, guilty, you can still get back to the to society and do what you want to put your
Be a
mind to,
productive
and
individual.
be a productive
Not
citizen.
just the taxpayer.
and
citizen,
not
just
be bitter.
Exactly.
Some people live their life whole
Exactly.
bitter
Yeah.
about what they've been through, whether you're guilty or
Exactly.
not. Oh, I did 10 years. Fuck that. The world don't love me. Now that don't mean you still can't do shit with your life.
That's true.
Guilty or innocent, and that's what a drug dealer's dream is about. At the end of the day, he got T-shirts, Park Madison.
How do they find you? Tell me exactly how they
Oh,
find
ParkMadisonNYC.com.
What
Yeah,
about
you
your
got a website.
Instagram?
Oh yeah, Santana Raymond. That's the Instagram. I'm also on Twitter. I'm also on Facebook.
you. Santana Raymond.
Santana Raymond.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? I definitely will be back for part 2 because he got a lot going on.
We need a part 2 and 3.
part 2
We
and
just
3.
had to
This
hit
shit
the fast
deeper than
forward
rap.
button. We had to go
Yeah,
through
shit.
mad shit.
We had to go
But
through
yo,
that shit.
definitely go check
This is
them
a
out.
drug dealer's dream. Only us bring stories like this.
100%. Season 2. Make sure you go check out. Not only check out, support, cause
Subscribe.
yeah, and us having
Sensei
a brand,
Chop, the illest producer, the illest cameraman, the
who've been
illest
telling
movie
us to
man.
cut for the last 10 minutes.
Everybody subscribe. Also leave a review.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you,
iTunes,
Chop.
all that helps. We need
That's
all
right.
Thank you, Chop.
That's
Thank you, Chop.
100%.
Nah, but for real, bro. We appreciate you coming out,
Yeah, thank
sharing
you,
your
man.
story. You know what I'm saying? We'll be back. It's like we spoke before this. Beyond any revenue made from podcasts or clothing lines or anything, relationships are the most valuable.
Definitely.
You know, we gonna ride it out, bro. So we appreciate you coming through.
Shout
sharing your
out
story.
Chick Bing.
Ching
Yes.
Bing.
Shout out
Yes.
John Wayne Bud, Nori,
Whenever
EFN.
Drug Dealers Dreams and Thugged Out Thursdays unite, it's gonna be an epic episode, bro. It's
Definitely.
gonna be an episode.
Hungover,
beyond-
Family Ties.
Yeah.
All the Drink Champ
And
Network.
it's just ill that-
Lanave. Listen, man.
It's ill that we get guests that coincide, and it only backs up what we know from the beginning, which is what definitive culture. We're not here to talk about it. We're here to
Listen,
define it.
if you tuning in for gossip, tune out,
out, bro.
That's
That's
not what we're here for.
Word.